sorrel, ginger, beaver grass, or English. Get it ready. Your morning tea just got hotter.
Ooh, honey child.
On the cold, hard truth, Bobo 89.1 and Cayman's #1 talk show are bringing you morning talk like no one else. Monday Rewind, Impact Wednesdays, Caribbean Connections, and much more. Don't miss a beat with what's happening in the local community. Just keep sipping your tea.
What a mess.
Here's your host, live and direct from the Cayman Islands, Sandy Hill. Peppermint, sorrel, ginger, beaver grass, or English. Get it ready. Your morning tea just got hotter.
Ooh, honey child.
On the cold, hard truth, Bobo 89.1 and Cayman's #1 talk show are bringing you morning talk like no one else. Monday Rewind, Impact Wednesdays, Caribbean Connections, and much more. Don't miss a beat with what's happening in the local community. Just keep sipping your tea.
What a mess.
Here's your host, live and direct from the Cayman Islands, Sandy Hill.
All right. Good morning, beautiful people. Wagwan, wagwan. Happy Thursday. I can't believe it's Thursday already. What? Yes, apparently it is, honey chill. Oh my gosh. I could barely roll out of bed this morning. I was like, no, can I sleep in today? And you know what that husband of mine did? You know, he's so salty. He's almost as salty as Juliana. Oh, not quite. Nah, he's not on her level. Never mind. I take that back. He actually came and turned down the music and he was like, get up out of bed. It's time to get going. There's people waiting for you on the cold hard truth. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired today. That's what happens when you can't get to bed before 1 o'clock. I was up working on stories and doing stuff and checking this, that, and the next thing. Checking all the sources. So that was a really mean move on his part. You can imagine turning on the radio. Like, seriously? Who does that? Anyway, all I can tell you is it helped. And then he played the worst song ever. He played this song about getting up. I was like, a song about getting up? Say what? Yes, it was like, get up, clap, clap. I don't even know. I'd have to ask Amazon the name of the song. I don't even know the name of the song, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. If you need a get up anthem, that's pretty much it. It's like, get your butt up out of bed, clap, clap. And it's doing all the stomping sounds and everything. I was like, all right, let me roll out, roll into the bathroom, roll to brush my teeth. Roll in the shower. I'm like, roly-poly. Someone said they're just listening to me on the way to school. And you are #1 for Colin. Thank you, Colin. How you doing, honey chill? So, yes, I was rolling my way. And here we are. I've rolled my way right into the studio. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, all. How are you? Yes, thank you, Sir Colin. #1 fan, he says. I love it. Oh, okay. Somebody was saying, Sandy, morning, that radio quality is a nope. Sorry. Yeah, you're good now. I think Chuck be on it, honey. Chill. All right. What? Is this for real? Oh my God. No, sir. Oh my God. Check this one out. hot mess. You know, some stories are so shocking when you see them. You're like, we need to verify that's actually what's going on around the world. Good morning, Miss Evelyn. Present. Good morning to you, darling. Let me start drinking my water. I've been trying to drink more water. Eunice is in the house. Good morning, Eunice. Barbara is here. Evelyn is laughing. Yes, you know, Marlon Naizina. Oh my gosh. This song was just like, get up, stomp, stomp, and clapping. I was like, oh my gosh. And then he turned the volume all the way up on Alexa, like really far up. Anyway, and I said, well, you know, Olivia, maybe this has happened to you. Some mornings you really don't feel like getting up. And what you do instead, you still get up because that's what working people got to do. That's what adulting is all about. I love when kids be like, oh, I can't wait till I'm an adult. I wish I was an adult. I said, honey, child. I wish I was a kid. In fact, I wish I was my kid, you, because I would have such a good life. Somebody said they can't see me. Why can't y'all see me? This is random and weird. Hold on. Let me refresh on the Facebook tube, the Facebook and YouTube. So, yeah, it's like really, really random when kids say stuff like that. Like, are you right? Did that fix that issue? Let me refresh and see. It's weird because the screen is just completely black. I'm not so sure that it did. Bizarre. No video. This is unusual. It's fixed now. Oh, there we go. Right? That was so weird. I don't even know what that was about. My brain can't. Today, the brain can't process very much. It's like, yeah, forget about it. We're here live and direct in the studio. I'm going to make sure the phones are ready and popping, honey, child, because we got to tell y'all a couple things this morning. So, yeah, I was slow to get up. And then I said, well, since hubby decided to pump up the volume on me this morning, I decided to turn on my little YouTube on the phone as I was getting ready in the shower and get ready to some music. You know, Siobhan, sometimes you need a little jiggle, jiggle, jiggle to get you going. So I turned on the music, and once it's upbeat and not putting me to sleep, I was like, all right. If I was a coffee drinker, I think I need about 2 cups this morning. This morning, kind of rough. Morning, Miss Bonnie, joining us from East End. Miss Iva's in the house from Bodden Town. Paul Bermuda's in the house. Good morning. Oh my gosh, Diamond Princess is here. Barbara is here. Barbara says, yeah. All right, y'all can see me now. Can you see me now? It's like, can you hear me now? Can you see me now? So here I am, folks. Buenos dias. Bonjour. Good morning. So good to see you all in the studio. Well, you're not in the studio, but you're out there listening. So yesterday I had a good day. I told you I had a little business meeting at 11 o'clock. Got to try and earn my little coins, honey child. So some clients are easier than others in my line of business. Like some clients I can just email, you know, send a message. Okay, this is what you want. This is what you don't want. Blah, blah, blah. And then other clients require a bit more attention. Yeah, you know, you got to be meeting with them and having meetings and stuff. Now, some clients happen to be, I've got a client who happens to be my friend, so I don't mind meeting with her all the time because I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And it all works out for the best. So this particular client yesterday, honestly, oh yeah, the name of the song, hear this now, Marlon just sent it to me. It's called Everybody Wake Up by Lisa Loeb. And it's like a foot stomping, hand clapping, wake up song. It's like, oh my God. Everybody wake up, wake up, wake up. So anyway,
Okay. I'm getting some feedback on my mic settings. Let me just check a little thing or two. Yes. You know what? Thanks, Kevin, for the heads up, because for some reason,
I noticed it this morning when I went online. My default mic is now being picked up as a USB device. And I don't know what that is. USB audio is showing up as my default mic, and it's random and weird. And honestly, I don't even know what that device is. And I saw it online earlier, and I didn't think to check in the studio app, Kevin. So thanks for the heads up, because he's like, yeah, you're coming in a little bit. You can actually tell the difference of that I'm using the proper mic versus like the computer is kind of picking up the audio, but it's not through my mic. Don't know why that changed. These are the little things that I'm like every morning, obviously, I've got to check some mic settings on the fly because they seem to change themselves quite randomly. Kevin, I'm going to make another change. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Leave that right there. All right. So this particular client, I really only meet with him normally once a year for business. You know, I might see him otherwise, whatever. Super cool guy, really, really nice client. And we always have a good chat. You know what I mean? It's not just business. We catch up for a little bit and talk about other things. So he was asking, you know, how's the radio show going? I said, well, you know, it turns out that I was wrong, and I have zero issues admitting when I'm wrong, unlike some people we're going to talk about here in a second. I remember thinking to myself that radio in the Cayman Islands was, that's past, that's done with. Y'all are all online, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook. That's where the hotness is going on. And it might be, I'm not saying a lot of stuff not going on there, but in the Cayman Islands, radio is still king. Especially morning radio, because y'all be stuck in traffic with nothing else to do. So, of course, you're like, yeah, let's turn on the radio. So I am in shock and awe every single time I get to see how impactful radio is. Just random people walk up to me and be like, hey, lady, I don't know you, but, you know, I listen to you on the radio. I hear you. And I love your show. Everyone says that they're my number one fan. I don't know how we'll ever prove who exactly is the number one fan if I had to pick a single person, because a lot of y'all ride hard for CMR. That's why I chuckled yesterday when those ladies called in about the farmer's market. And they're like, oh, this guy says, you know, he doesn't like CMR and you're spreading fake news. I'm like, poor him. I'm like, right now, we're actually the more accurate. We are the most accurate news media in the Cayman Islands, which is kind of funny. And boy, have we come a long way or what? Raise your tea glasses to that, y'all. I tell you what. Yeah, we doing all right. So anyway, I said, when I see, you know, people, so I told him, I said, listen, I kind of thought that radio was, it's there, but you know, I listen to music on the radio. When people start talking, I change the channel. I'm like, oh, Jesus, no. Except when I'm in the US, because I love to listen to NPR. Oh, honey, child, over the weekend, I heard some amazing content. One on Haiti. Literally, as I was driving, it made me cry for the people of Haiti. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to see if we can play it here, maybe early next week. But we have life so damn good compared to those people. You have no idea. They are suffering at the hands of the gangs and the gang violence. It is just unbelievable what their daily lives are like. It's really, really horrific. Anyway, so this client was saying, how's it going? Since you, and I said, the interesting thing is Tower Marketing, big shout out to Lynn Biles over at Tower Marketing. They do an annual media and consumption survey to see what your habits are. And there's a whole section related to media. And so when they did the one for, they released it this year, but it's from last year, they said that we were the #1 talk show on Island. Thank you, K-Man. And that was before we were in radio, because, we only started in radio this year in March. But the penetration from being #1, which we already work according to Tower Marketing, and only being on social media, and going from that to now being on radio, I've seen an immense transition and impact. Just people who know that we're there every morning. Trust me, y'all was messaging me Monday morning. I got my coffee ready and I do not hear CMR. What is going on? I was like, oh my gosh, calm down. I'm coming back. So it is amazing to see. And I want to just thank you guys for that. And so the client and I were kind of discussing how in the Cayman Islands, there's some very unique elements to marketing. And like Facebook here is the #1 social media platform. In the US, it's like TikTok, Twitter, and all this other stuff. Here, we're Facebook driven. The older, folks, middle age, some of them don't even have Twitter or TikTok accounts, but they're into Facebook. Elsewhere in the world, it's other platforms. So you got to know your market. It's very, very interesting indeed. And you've got to know your market when you're in the business of public relations, marketing, branding, all that kind of stuff. So we had an amazing chat with this client. He wants to do some additional stuff for next year. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And, I don't just tell my clients something, because I think it's so interesting when I hear government departments and agencies say, oh yeah, well, this newspaper came and did a presentation to us and they told us XYZ. And I said, oh, really? So they said they're #1. I said, and how did they prove that to you? Because, they were showing you old figures from when they were the only boys in town. They were #1 then, but that's like 5 years ago, kind of, statistics. And it's easy to fool some of the people some of the time, honey chill. And when I start asking, they're like, oh, well, we don't know that. And I said, They're banking on the fact that you don't know a lot and that you don't understand social media. You don't understand, media penetration, all these kind of things. And that's how they get you to spend your money with them, despite the fact that there's very strong anecdotal evidence that they're no longer #1. They're still telling you that they're #1. Anybody can claim that they're #1. Right now, anybody on radio can say, oh, I'm #1. I'm the #1 station. I'm the #1 show, because there's no way to prove it, especially for radio. That's why I do appreciate the Tower Marketing Report. I know a lot of people don't like it because, they're like, oh, well, they got it wrong because we know we're #1. We're all the way down to #5 on their list. Listen, they take a sample size. And statistically speaking, research speaking, apparently the sample size doesn't have to be as large as you think. As I did say to them, I'm curious if you increase your sample size, what sort of results. So they've already done the research, and it would only be like a 1% plus or minus difference. That level of variation is really minimal. Like it's neither here nor there when you think about it. Especially because the numbers aren't that close between #1 and #2. And you know what I'm saying? People have really decided who's #1, who they're listening to. And so I personally study trends in media in Cayman. And I find that their report is very, very helpful. And it allows me to understand certain things. Like it said, something like, I have to look at the exact, because you got to look at how they ask the questions. The questions that they ask and how they're actually being asked is really, really important as well. And so they were saying something like, men in the 6,000 plus bracket tend to listen to OC's talk show more than mine, although I'm number one overall. And I thought that that was interesting. And when I tried to figure out, well, who are these old geriatric men making 6,000? That's me being salty. Sandy, behave. That's just wrong. I'm like, who are these men making $6,000 a month and listening to OC? And then I thought about it for a minute. I said, you know who they probably are? They're probably civil servants. Think about it. Caymanians making $6,000 plus a month. That ain't mean you, not women, but they are men. That's the chief officers out there who ain't got nothing else to do but to listen to OC in the mornings. So it's interesting. But you know what is even more interesting? Is that we have noticed, and it was interesting because I just messaged Kevin to say, hey, Kev, you want to jump on the show this morning? Because this is something he noticed kind of independently of me. But we've noticed that there's been a shift in our social media followers. So this was the report that Tower Marketing did for the year before, I believe. Which year was this? Yeah, this was the year before, because they've actually changed their formatting. I like how, they always do a lot of really interesting graphics and stuff about the Cayman Islands, the employment rate. Let me see if I can increase this page for y'all to view this a little bit more. This is a PowerPoint. Can I increase a PowerPoint? Oh, yes, down at the bottom. So they do a lot of interesting stuff as it relates to, the population. Now, this bit here, 53% Caymanian, 47% non-Caymanian. We have to have this conversation about how is it that we can be in the Cayman Islands and half the population is not even Caymanian. It is a point of contention for a lot of people, and I must tell you, there are a lot of Caymanians who feel a particular way about this. And so that is one of the reasons why when Caymanians say that they're outnumbered, and if you're foreign national, you don't understand it, let that sink in for a minute. You live on an island where at the very minimum, the foreign penetration is at least half, if not more. Because a real Caymanian can tell you, well, that person's a paper Caymanian. So of the 53%, probably 20% of those are paper Caymanians. And if they're kind of Johnny come lately and they haven't earned their stripes, Caymanians are like, no, Bobo, we're not ready for you yet. And this is why it's important for the discussion and the rhetoric around things that matter to Caymanians is had, and politicians really prioritize them because they already feel like the native blue iguanas on the cusp of extinction. It's a thing. They had information in this one about the employment rate. We're going to get to, I want to show you all a trend. So we're going to get to something here in a second. Then they talked about the demographic profile. So this is interesting. So what people are making, as you can see, the majority of household income 2 years ago was under $3,000. And then you had the next group, 3,000 to 4,000. And then you've got, that 4,000, 6,000. Now listen, this 6,000 plus doesn't make up a huge portion of the population. That is why when the following year they're saying, oh, people in that bracket are listening to OC more. I'm like, yeah, but they're really not a majority of people. But the question becomes, who are they? Because it is interesting to know who they could be. And this the Town Marketing Report doesn't exactly say who they are. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull my email back over into this other screen. But we are going to look at a little bit of this morning. And then I got an interesting discussion for you guys coming up. So make sure you stay tuned now, honey child. You know, they say variety is the spice of life. And I really actually believe that. And so I'm always spicing it up by keeping y'all in tune with different discussions. So anyway, let me see here now. So yes, so it's interesting that they don't make up a majority of the people, and that's expected. Most people are simply not making $6,000 plus a month. We hustling out in these streets to get $3,000. But it went through quite a bit of information, talking about COVID and its effects, stuff about the borders, unemployment. You know, these are specific threats facing the Cayman Islands. So back in this year, we were really, really concerned about COVID. It'll be interesting to see if COVID even shows up on the list again. Like where on the list is COVID now? What is the number one concern for the people of the Cayman Islands? So as you go through, they do one on internet and media. So they look at things like, how are you guys viewing content on your computers? Or viewing content on your computers. How are you viewing content? And are you using your tablet, your desktop, at work, others, whatever? And no surprise that at that time, 89% of people are actually, the primary way that we consume the internet is through our mobile devices. And that makes complete sense. Everybody has a mobile phone. A lot of you have, you know, WhatsApp and other apps, Facebook and everything on your phone. And that is how you are connecting with people. And that's how you're talking to people. So I was not surprised that that is the number one way. And it's one of the reasons, to be quite frank, that we also, it's really important for us to make sure that our website, for example, is web friendly. Yeah. And I have a WhatsApp group because I know most of y'all communicate with me via WhatsApp. What's up? Okay. So one of the most interesting things about this is last year, the question in relation to media was a little bit different. So the question that they were asking the previous year, which would have been for, okay, what year were we in? We're in 2022. This came out in 2021, but it was for 2020. Yeah. So the questions that they were asking people back for 2020 survey was, what are the local websites that you use regularly? So it was interesting that EK Trade Online came in the top spot. CMR came in next, then The Compass, then Radio Cayman, then Yellow Pages, and so on. So if I'm someone who has a business and I'm thinking to myself, how do I reach the people? Well, it certainly depends on who I'm trying to reach. But if you're looking at platforms that people use all the time, you know, CMR came in at number 2. And it was interesting because we didn't just come in at number 2, but we were almost double the numbers compared to the Compass, which I found to be really, really interesting. So 1 in 10 respondents do not regularly visit any local websites, it said. Now, one thing I like that they did with last year's report, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. I'm trying to find the password for it, is that they actually put the question that was asked. And I think the question that is asked is very important. Let me give you an example of how asking the right question, or asking the question in the right way, I should say, can net you very different results. So years ago, I was listening to this story about men who go to prison and who engage in same-sex relations or whatever. And then when they're out in the community, especially African-American men, they're asking them, you know, are you gay? Are you homosexual? And they're like, no, I'm not gay. What you talking about? It turns out that because it was done for like an AIDS survey. Well, it turns out they were actually asking the wrong question. Kevin, I'm going to pull you in. They were actually asking the wrong question. Irvin says, well, I am your number one fan for sure. No disputing there. Turns out they were asking the wrong question. The question to ask wasn't asking a man if you're gay or you're homosexual, because a lot of men can be like, nope. The question that they really needed to ask is, have you ever engaged in sex with someone same sex? Because apparently once they started asking that question, they were getting very different numbers. Shocking, right?
Yeah, Sandy, on that point, when I worked at the health department, I had gotten certified in being a pre-test counselor. So we would always have these STD, STI, free STD screening events. And we have to fill out this form. We ask a lot of open-ended type questions. And again, that was certainly one of the questions. You know, we don't ask if you're gay, lesbian, X, Y, and Z. The question that we asked was, have you ever had sex with a man? And if you're, like, you know, you answer. Also, one of the questions on there was to identify gender, because here in the States, there's a lot of people who might be born with the male or female parts, but identify as a different gender. So you kind of ask, what was your same sex at birth? So you had to ask these questions in the way that we did grow up, asking the questions in order to get the data that we really needed.
Yeah, so the actual question that is asked is really, really important. And so this previous report, they didn't tell you what question was being asked. They just told you local websites used regularly. So on this particular year, we were not on the talk show, although we had started our show. We were actually not on the list of talk shows. I'm trying to find the password to open up the other one, because that one was password protected. But anyway, I can't really show you that one because of, I can show you slides from that one, but I can't show you the whole report, because Tower Marketing actually sells this report. Look at me, got my WhatsApp open. Tower Marketing actually sells these reports to people, and you're able to, as a company, purchase them. And you're actually, just a shout out to Tower Marketing, y'all might not know this, but as a company, you're also able to ask questions. So you can say to Tower Marketing, we're curious about this particular thing, this particular aspect of, you know, media penetration, or who the ISP, you know, you're trying to figure out who the number one ISP is and who's trusted the most and whatever. So you're able to pay, it's a service, to have questions embedded in this report. So if you have any of those needs, check them out. The team over at Tower can give you those details. But what I find to be particularly interesting is the fact that we went from, in 2020, not being listed on the talk show list at all, to then being listed and finding out that we're in the number one slot. Now, Kevin, talk about one of the trends, because I thought it was interesting when you brought this up. And I said to you, yeah, I had noticed it as well, because Facebook is amazing. It gives us a lot of trending information and who our audience is, who's visiting your page and so on. Talk about this trend that you noticed recently as it relates to social media, and in particular, Facebook.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the analytics on a lot of our stories and going back into it, and I saw that the age dropped as well as the gender switched from, we were at first had more, a higher percentage of more middle-aged females, but now
Mhm.
it's switched over. And the last time I looked, it was saying that we're now about 48.4% women and then
Mhm.
51.6 men. And then the age, they got it broken down by age, the age group from 25 to 34, that's and men
Mhm.
have really gone up. So 25 to 34 as well as 35 to 44, they're very, very close. So I guess the age range for most of Cayman Mall Road viewers would be between the ages of 25 to 35, 25 to 44. And
Mhm.
again, the men are really, really edging up there. They've
Yeah.
gone up.
And you know what? That's in keeping with what the Tower Marketing Report said, because it did say that more women are likely to listen to the CMR platform than men. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be interested to see when I just found out actually that they're starting now to do the report for last year, right? They're doing the survey now. They just begun. So if you get a call from Tower Marketing, that's what that's all about. But I'd be curious to see if their local figures are in keeping with the trend that we're now seeing on Facebook. So
Mhm.
I think according to Tower Marketing last year, we were like 60-40, 60% women, 40% men.
Yep. And
But I also
it's really
saw
evening out. Practically that statistic shows it's really dead
it's
even.
50-50.
Yeah.
Welcome on board, men. Y'all know I'm here now. So yes, I mean, I saw that I saw that happening as well, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. The men are engaging more and they're stepping up. Now, what's going to be interesting is that, and I don't know if they're going to ask the exact same questions because they seem to change the questions slightly. So it'll be interesting to see if that older gentleman, 6,000 plus economic bracket, if they remain there, and if that's the same question, and if they actually also shift. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be very curious to see what happens coming into next year when the report, because the report will be released. They're now starting the actual phone calls and whatever, but they won't be released until sometime next year.
And Sandy, another thing, there were people that used to tell me, "Oh, I'd never listen to CMR. That's nothing but gossip and crap and fake
Mhm.
news and this, that, and the other." Oh, but it's funny that even on my recent last visit there, the
Mhm.
week before last, some of those same people that used to say that are no longer saying that. So
Yes, honey
there's,
child.
there's a bit of a shift in some of that as well too,
Yeah.
where it's
It
getting a little
used to
bit
be
more.
cool actually to kind of hate on CMR, and now people are like, what? CMR is the voice of the people. What the hell are you talking about? And you know what is so much more interesting is even those people back in the day, Kevin, I knew this for a fact, who were like who were like publicly like, oh no, I'm not gonna listen to CMR. Uh on the down low, they were like that down low boyfriend that you got, you know.
Mhm.
They were there reading CMR and listening to CMR. And sometimes they'd be the same people be messaging me with tips. Like, oh, I want to remain anonymous, Sandy,
Mhm.
but I think one of the interesting things, you know, I started out talking about the importance of radio in this jurisdiction and the penetration of radio. I think that the radio is going to be a game changer for us in so many different ways because, you know, someone said to me last week, they're like, Sandy, you cannot repeat this. I'm not going to say who the person is. Let's just say it's a high ranking government official. And the person said to me, down low, down, you know, on the down low, love your show. And they love to hear your colloquial terms like honey chill. And they're always cracking themselves up because somebody's office is next to them. And they're like, oh my God, we hear them laughing all the time. They got you tuned in. So it is pretty interesting. Somebody said there's higher salaried people that are listening to OC are mostly pencil pushing civil servants who are really not doing their jobs as they should. Oh my gosh. Another person makes the observation that we're always slow on the uptake in terms of social media. So it's interesting. We keep an eye on the trends and we'll continue to do so. But here's one, and this shows you how the Tower Marketing has shifted how they do their report. So notice on last year's report, they actually tell you the question that was asked. So in this case, now it says, the heading says awareness of local news organizations. And the specific question was, when thinking about local news, which 3 organizations come to mind? And this is good to know. There was unprompted and then prompted. So it says here that the Compass was at 74%, had the largest total awareness for local news organizations. And then that was followed by CMR and Radio Cayman. But here's the thing that I found particularly interesting about this question is for the prompted part, we edged out the Compass just slightly, but still 3% is 3%. So I thought to myself, what would account for that? Is it that people can't sometimes remember a name maybe? And then when they go, okay, how about Compass? Then you go, oh yeah, CMR. So that's kind of interesting. I'll be curious to know whether or not they use that same question next year to see the results. I think it's good for them to be consistent with the questioning so that you can do a comparison from one year to the next. So this is where it talks about preferred talk shows that CMR came in a number 1 slot, followed by For the Record, and then Talk Today. Crosstalk was already on its way out. Straight Talk, I don't think Straight Talk is on anymore, but Straight Talk was on its way out. Business Buzz, which is over at Radio Cayman, is and then the Rush Hour, unfortunately, came in the last spot. So it's interesting, folks. And, when I go talk to my clients, it's really, really important that I have this type of information available to me, both information that we get on our own through like Facebook analytics and stuff. So here's one from, I don't have a date on this one, but this shows you that at the time, the Compass on Facebook had more page likes than we did. And yet we were substantially ahead of them by a huge percentage of engagement. So that meant that people were going to our Facebook page more, they were commenting more, they were liking more, and they were doing all those things. And we see it on the back end. Kevin's a page administrator, so we get to see certain numbers and stuff that you guys might not be privy to. But we even see it in terms of individual posts and numbers. So I was saying to the team yesterday that we did an article on the Minister of Tourism. Congratulations, by the way, to the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. He has been chosen as the, what's the official title, Kev?
Let me see exactly how it's worded. 1 second.
Yeah. Like basically the minister of the region or something like that. Top minister.
Yeah. Caribbean Minister of the Year is what it's called.
Yeah. Caribbean Minister of the Year. We've taken away that accolade. I don't know who it was in the past, but congratulations to Minister Bryan. And so, I was looking at the article yesterday, which we posted kind of later in the day, actually. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, let me show you guys something. Because again, some of y'all have little small, micro and small businesses. And we're a small business, or maybe even micro, to be honest. There's an actual definition in law for what a micro business is and what a small business is. But it's important for you to know certain things. And it's important for you to understand how to obtain information that is going to be useful to you, because nobody has unlimited resources. So when you're looking at, okay, where am I going to spend my money, right? How do I make that decision? And even looking at your own figures, maybe you're in a competitive space and competitive market, and you're trying to figure out, how you're doing with your competitors. Let me just show you something that we posted yesterday in relation to this story. So this is the one from the Compass, and they had it up. They only had 10 likes and 1 comment. The exact same story. Bryan named Caribbean Tourism of the Year, Tourism Minister of the Year. CMR put it up. Very, very simple, similar titles, by the way, which I must tell you, the whole title thing, don't even get me started. It's hard to find a good title sometimes, but it's interesting. But Renee did the story. She put it out. Now look at the difference. 10 likes versus 478. Is it 476 plus 2? and over 218 comments and 11 shares. Look at that again. The Compass article on Facebook had 1 share and 1 comment, and 10 people basically decided to either like or love it. Now the CMR one is like off the charts, right? I think it's gone over 500 now in terms of the like engagement. And this isn't like engagement. This is just people who not only stopped and looked at it, but decided to give it a thumbs up, loved it, liked it. So it's now up to 521. And the number of people, which again, you wouldn't see this, but this is what I talk about, the importance of sort of even anecdotal evidence, is the number of people, the insights now, when I look at that on Facebook. Let me just show you guys quickly what that looks like. And listen, if you have a Facebook page, you got to know how to do these sorts of things. I feel like I should teach a course in this. But this is the penetration over this post on Facebook has reached over 17,873 people, and 2,693 people engaged with it. So that's the numbers on that. But congratulations to Minister Brian for this award, which is coveted in the world of tourism, definitely regionally. All right, so that's your Marketing 101 course for the morning. Kevin, I'm going to talk about Miss K-Man here now, so you probably want to be like, oh, honey child, I'm not getting in that mess.
I will listen.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Everyone have a beautiful day. Take care.
All right, Kev. Kev looking fresh face, boy. Got on his nice blue shirt today. So anyway, after my meeting yesterday, I ran a couple other errands, had to do some drop-offs. But by the way, I went by FedEx. Shout out to the team over at FedEx. Their system was down. I went after 4 o'clock and their computer system was down, but they were still getting packages. Listen, they were like, Miss Sandy, we apologize for the slowness. The system is down today, but we're doing it the old-fashioned manual way. And I said, yep, you got to know how to do that still. You know, computers stop working sometimes and you got to have your plan B. So as we moved into the afternoon and evening hours, someone started to send me a post from Tiffany Conley. So, you know, yesterday we were talking about her. And, you know, our article that we wrote, and despite what Tiffany might think, we focus on the facts. This is what was said. This is what she claimed. It is what it is. The article is very straightforward. Everybody has written on this. The Compass has written on this. CNS has written on it. I don't think Loop has, because Loop doesn't tend to be in court. But certainly we have CNS and the Compass. And so, of course, naturally, she gets upset at us because we are, I'm going to say it, the #1 news platform in the Cayman Islands. So when we post something, even if other people have posted it, it turns out that a lot of people aren't reading those articles. So, you know, that's a little bit of shade. Yes, but it seems to be true. Because we'll post the exact same story. And I've had reporters from the other publications say this to me. Sandy, you'll post something and people ask me, well, why didn't the Compass do it? I'm like, it's there. I kind of chuckle. I'm like, okay. So she decided to post the following. Let me read it. She says, hi, everyone. I thank you all and appreciate the messages of concern, but I simply do not value the opinion of someone who couldn't do what I did on the stage and themselves have been convicted. Woo! Tiffany, welcome to the real world, honey. I've blocked Cayman Mall Road, not because I don't want them to see me, liar, because I'm worth asking a friend, to send you screenshots. What the heck? Rather because I don't value the content they post. This is what Tiffany says. Respectfully, I'm asking that even though my photo looks good, conceited, narcissistic, please stop sending them to me. Tiffany, I can give you, where is that smallest violin? Hold on. Where's the smallest violin playing in the world? This is it right here. where you take your two little fingers, this is for the benefit of my radio on it, and you rub them together. There's the smallest violin in the world, honey child. This is me going. Lord Jehovah. Tiffany trying to come from me, I'm convicted. Right, Tiffany? Yeah. And yet I'm not the one who's going around beating people up. Isn't that ironic? Here you are, your fourth time at the rodeo, beating people up. And because of your pretty face, I guess, the court has given you all kind of passes. I didn't get the benefit of that. But here you are, getting all sorts of passes, and you think it's going to happen again. Well, the truth of the matter, Tiffany, is we speak the truth on this platform, whether you like it or not. So yes, I have a conviction. Planning to appeal it to the Court of Appeal, by the way. But you trying to be salty and shady with me, honey child. You barking up the wrong tree. You have blocked us because you don't want us to see the ridiculousness that you be posting. And you think you blocked us. And yet yesterday I had so many people sending me your posts that I lost count. Alejandra says, I read this 10 times last night and it makes no sense to me what she's posting because this is, I'm going to break it down for you. This is the crux of it. Tiffany has said that she has a brain tumor. Everybody who knows Tiffany has probably never heard that story before. So y'all were messaging her like, oh, CMR says you're a brain tumor. We didn't say that. Tiffany said that. Be very, very clear here. We don't make up the news. We simply report it. Tiffany said she has a brain tumor in court under oath. And I explained to y'all yesterday that the way this works is her defense team, AKA her, through her, can say anything that they want. It doesn't make it true. Yeah? So when y'all say, well, did they prove it? No, they didn't prove it. Why would they prove it? They just throw in any kind of foolishness out there, honey child. Oh, she got a brain tumor and that's what makes her unstable. And why she's going around beating people up. I have seen and heard of people, folks, who have had a brain tumor. And I must tell you, although certain types of brain tumors, depending on where they're placed in the frontal lobe and stuff like that, can make you violent, it is extremely unusual. Yeah? And do I personally believe that this girl has a brain tumor? No. I believe she's a narcissist. I believe she's a liar. I believe that she is an entitled, spoiled little brat who's gotten away with so much in her life that she has never had to be held accountable. So, Tiffany, unlike you, I'm willing to say, yes, I have the one conviction related to posting the truth about a man who was going after teenage girls. The irony of it. Yeah? That's what this is all about. You, on the other hand, talking about your good looks. You think, honey child, please. You really think you look good, first of all? I must admit, you've got the body of a beauty queen. You're long, you got the long legs, and you're tall. The face, meh. Take it or leave it. You're not competing against nobody on the international stage with that face. You got to wear weave, child, to look good. Now, let's just break it down now, since you want to go there, talking about you look good. Even though my photo looks good. So the photo in question that she's referring to is the photo that we use in the article. Yeah? And this is what money can buy you, honey child, a pound of weave to go on your head. She does look decent there. If you look really close, though, I mean, I'm wondering if they use the filter on the skin, because I can still see some pot marks and But you see, this is what this young lady is all about. She is all about trying to look good. Yeah. That's what it is for her. Although I look good. Child, please go sit down. It's not how you look on the outside. It's that inside that you need to be fixing. Inside your damn head and inside your heart, something is wrong. I don't care what you look like. And you think that I couldn't do what you did? Girl, I was trying to find a picture of myself when I was at USF, where I went into the university little competition, and honey child, I was looking better than you because it was all natural. None of it was fake. And I used to have more hair in my head then than I do now, and it was all natural and all beautiful. But I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you because this shows how superficial you are. You see, this is a problem with pageants. They want to talk about, oh, they're building people. They're building the self-esteem of these young people. And, you know, they want them to, child, please, y'all not building jack. You're allowing self-entitled little brats like Tiffany to get on a platform and think that she's not an ordinary person because she just won a little beauty competition. And for the rest of her life now, she will go through life in the Cayman Islands, and everybody would introduce her as, oh, former Miss Cayman Islands. That's not going to get you nowhere in life, Tiffany, especially under your reign, because it's been a hot freaking disaster from the get-go. Like, really? Oh, you blocked me because, what should say? I don't value the content they post. Well, honey child, I don't value you beating up people, but that's certainly not stopping you, does it? We don't need you to value us, honey child, because we speak the truth, even as it relates to you. So of course you're not gonna value the truth. We were the first ones to call you out when you did what you did to poor Salima Berry, crashed into a car without a license, no insurance, and your same froppish attitude existed then, where you refused to pay for the woman's car despite being ordered to do so by a court. This poor woman had to go to social media and cry out her eyeballs about how she couldn't get her family vehicle fixed because of you. And your attitude, self-righteousness, entitlement has oozed even throughout this trial, honey. She added to the post, I was a blessing. She says, I was toxic to some and I was a blessing to others. Let me just stop there before I even read any further, honey child. Tiffany, if you want to be honest, you should say that you were toxic to most and a blessing to a few. Okay? Speak the truth now, honey child. We got force you to tell the truth. She said, some I healed, others I hurt. No. Most I hurt, a few never got healed. I'm willing to admit that I wasn't always right, but I've never been so bitter that I've made it my job to tear down others. Girl, you are a friggin' liar. And trust me when I tell you, I don't want to use the word friggin'. I'd rather be using something else, but this is radio after all. You are a liar. You admitting? If you were admitting to anything, you would have pled guilty to this. You would have gone to this victim and made things right. You wouldn't be sitting there talking about you got a friggin' brain tumor and you're special because you're a mental health patient and you should be treated differently. And oh, I didn't mash up his car. And the next car, yes, I mashed it up because I own the car. And no, it wasn't me that assaulted him. He assaulted me. And yes, I kicked him in the nuts when he was on the phone to 911, but you don't admit to anything. You are full of a bunch of sorrowful excuses. Then she finishes and says, friendly reminder, you can only pull people down that you're beneath. Oh, honey child. Woohoo! Who the hell told you? She's trying to say that I'm beneath her, and that's why I'm trying to pull her down. Girl, please. Really? I'm an ordinary person, and I still not beneath you. Let us be very, very clear, Tiffany. You have zero, zilch, nada. I don't know what other languages I can say nothing in that I could possibly want. You're a damaged young lady that won't admit that you're damaged. A lot of us are damaged. I'm damaged, and I'm willing to admit it. You get professional help. You think that you're above other people, and that is the biggest problem right there. That's why you're in this hot mess, and you continue to be in a hot mess. I can't even imagine, right? Listen to me. You all know that I did not, for the most part, grow up with my own mother. I was raised by my aunt in the States. And I am almost 50 years old, and I can tell you I have never raised my voice, said a bad word, or nothing to my mommy. I call her Pam. Yes. Imagine me being the type of person who would beat my mommy up where she has to call the police on me. And yet, shall you think that I'm beneath you? I want to know what kind of standards you're using to come to that determination. Inquiring minds want to know. Your action speaks volumes about who you are as a person. You can use all the pretty words in these interviews that you want, and you're not fooling people like me. You're not fooling the majority of us, because your actions have spoken. Your actions have written the whole book of Job already. We know what you're really all about. So you fool the Miss Cayman committee because they're naive and they want to believe in the comeback kid. And they've not taken the time to even sit in court and hear your testimony and analyze anything, nothing. Because they like to be clueless. Yeah. They like that they have been hoodwinked. It's sad, really. But you're not fooling me, and I'm not impressed by your continued denials and lies. And, you know what's really egregious about this whole court case is, in order to try to vindicate herself and be found not guilty, she has lied on other people. I don't want y'all to miss this point now. So she has lied that a local businessman, well respected in this community, who is an activist on a number of issues, has assaulted her. She has lied that his son, who is 20-something years old, starting out his life, has access to guns and is a violent gangbanger, I guess is what she was trying to say in court. And so she was fearful that he would go get a gun and shoot her. Girl, you would have never stepped up to that man's porch if you really believe that. So she is sullying the reputation of other people to save her own, what she thinks is privileged, beautiful behind. And that is just wrong. Committing perjury in a court of law. Although when it comes to defense, the court just accepts that defendants are probably going to lie. And they're not going to go and try and prove perjury for these defendants, because all of them are there trying to make themselves look better. It's really, really sad. You hear what the prosecutor, Sarah Lewis, said to her? If you were as afraid as you said you were, why did you go to the complainant's house? Hear the brilliance of her response. She is above me, but hear how stupid this response is. Conley responded that she was afraid, but not so afraid as to prevent her from going. Kaboom! Stupid comment of the day. Oh, I'm afraid, but, not afraid enough. Yeah, he has access to a gun, but I'm not afraid enough. Wow. Unbelievable. So, young lady, you say that, you don't read CMR because you don't value our content. Let me, in case you missed the memo, allow me to tell you that we don't give a damn over here. Nobody cares, Tiffany, what you think. And I noticed that this particular story was a turning, like I said, I pay attention to trends. This particular story was a huge turn in public opinion of you. Because everybody know you ain't got no damn brain tumor. I looked at the Instagram comments. On Instagram, there were, let me just double check now, I'm sure it's gone up since last night. 382 people liked the post. It reached over 14,379 individuals. And it had 25 comments, and not a single person defended you this time. That is why, after all this time, the real reason why you decided you're going to try and step up to CMR and address us. But honey child, you can't address us because you can't address the truth. Don't step up to us because you're going to get knocked down with the truth. Not a single person. Hear what this one person said? Too sick to not be judged like everyone else. You're not sick enough to be Miss K-Man. Something doesn't weigh up here. That was one of the comments. Another person said, listen, cancer is no joke. I've been fighting it for 5 years now. If you do, you must have medical records to show. If not, this is one illness I wouldn't wish on a dog. They say power is in your tongue, so be very careful what you speak upon yourself. That one garnished over 65 likes. Another person said, boy, them lawyers will come up with anything. It is still not an excuse. If that's the case, where's the medical proof? Another person says, all she had to say is, I messed up. There's no excuses for my behavior. So everybody, so somebody says she's regular. That's why she got that ish now. Island Peach said, mind-blowing. Nothing about her is appealing. Her looks, her attitude, her personality, none are star qualities. I'm just thankful that she was replaced before she could put K-Man on the map for all the wrong reasons. Nobody's defending Tiffany anymore. And that is why she's feeling a little bit of pressure now. She's feeling the pinch of reality of that looming verdict, which should be found guilty. Yeah. And so this is why now she's coming out with this cockamamie response that she thinks is somehow going to be impactful to anybody. Poor child. Let's move on because she just ain't got no sense. Morning, Brother Tommy. Alejandro. We're going to get to that in a second. Good morning, Lavana. Morning to Miss Morna. Miss Sue's in the house. Who was that child that got caught in the West Bay robbery and who married for convenience? Which one is that child? There's so many of them these days. I can't keep up. Evelyn says that she's recruited quite a few men who are listening to her program now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Child, a lot of men love them some CMR, you know. They be stopping me. As a matter of fact, I think I have more men stopping me in public. Low key, that was the word, Alejandro. You knew my brain was looking for that word, right? I have a lot of men stopping me in public like, oh my gosh, I love your show. Or they're messaging me and calling me and sending me voice notes. Celine says, I love when you say honey child. I crack up all the time. Wee Wee says, I love CMR school. Yes, what a mess. Do you all remember the gentleman, which by the way, breaking news, I see it. This young lady, talk about second chances. Brittany Griner has been released by Russia and a 1-for-1 prison swap for arms dealer Victor Boot. Is that his name? U.S. officials have said. So she is out of jail. You're hearing it first here on K-Man's #1 media. Yeah? Isn't that amazing? She's been released. Girl, don't ever go to Russia again. And anytime you visit another man's country, know what the rules are and abide by the rules. Because, honey child, you could have been locked up for them freaking 10 years of your life. And you know you wasn't going to deal well with prison life in Russia. So congratulations to her. I'm happy for her, but look at who they got back, an arms dealer. Come see the damage he could be doing to the world. JD up in the house today. He says, no, Sandra, not the weave. Child. You know it's something else when you got by hair by the pound trying to look good. I had a wig once. Can I tell y'all about the one time I bought a wig? Because I was trying to be lazy. I was like, oh, but I don't have to comb my hair. I can just put on this wig. Child, please. I couldn't. Your scalp can't breathe. It actually looks good, though. I must say it was, you can buy some that, look good. They cost a pretty penny. And it had like the natural part down the middle. And it was like, I never would have to put a curl knot in my hair. It was always these beautiful curls. Child, please. I could not be bothered with that life. I was like, thank God, God gave me a little bit. And I used to have more when I was younger. And guess what? Nothing wrong with cutting it off and just going all natural and short hair and just living your best life. Weaveless. Alejandro says, Miss Prima Donna. Child, please. We all admit that there's something wrong with the girl. I mean, I'm not saying that. Now, whether or not it's a clinical diagnosis, I'm no specialist in that area. And she runs to the mental health unit when it's convenient for her to do so. It's all a big game for her. It's like going to the mental health unit came out as a vacation, and then it takes the pressure off, because then all of a sudden she's like in there for a weekend and, oh no, I can't talk about it. I'm having mental health issues. Evelyn says that the boy needs to sue her. Evelyn, there's certain things that she said in court that we are prohibited on reporting. The judge says you cannot report this. Let me tell you something. The allegations about him and the gun they pale in comparison to what else she's accusing this young man of. You think about it. This girl not easy. You hear me? Make her keep it up. Thank you, Miss Brenda and Miss Rachel. Brittany is out, honey child. Good for her. Aliana says a lot of young women live in the state of delusion that their looks will be the only thing that they need, but lack internal character. Looks fade, yo. And character building, they're definitely not into. This is the irony of this pageant world that is really making me reconsider. By the way, shout out to Pam Small. The Miss K-Man, people don't like her because she took away. Well, she didn't take away. They gave up the Miss World pageant, assuming that nobody else would pick it up, I guess. And Pam, who is a former beauty queen herself, saw this as a wonderful opportunity. And she's picked it up. And I got to tell you, this year in particular, the young lady that they picked as Miss World, she outshines, outstomps, outspeaks, out everything our supposed Miss Cayman. Miss Cayman Islands World is the example that our young people should be looking to. She's in the cadet, not the cadet corps. This is cadet corps? Yeah, I think it's cadet corps. Oh gosh, what's her name again? But this is a young lady who is a professional, accomplished. Isn't she a pilot too? Y'all trying to remind me of her name now. Hold on. She is, and she's beautiful. I mean, since y'all want to talk about beauty. Leanne Tibbetts. Yes. Accomplished young lady. Receiving all sorts of accolades. Accomplished already. This is what we need to be going for in the world of so-called beauty pageants. Well done. During Tropical Storm Ian, she was out there helping as part of the regiment, not because she's trying to get brownie points like some other people. Let's do a little garbage cleanup this weekend so I can have a photo op. No, she was doing it before. I love it. She's got a lot going on for herself. Congratulations, making us proud. Morning, Mr. Alvin. How are you? Mark is here. He says bullet bounces off beauty pageant. Child, please. Strong Will says, good morning, Sandy. She needs an F-lick to knock some sense into her head. Well, child, I'm not even sure that that's going to work for her. You know, that's what she wants to then become another victim again. Oh, I'm a victim of domestic abuse. My new platform. People who are narcissists don't like the truth, huh? They fear the truth more than anything else. And because we are there shining the light on the truth, that is what gets under their skin. Jonathan says looks can fade fast. Some age like fine wine and some can age like old cabbage. Ay. What a thing. What a mess. Miss Lucille, good morning to you. She says, I love the show. As long as you do not get sued, I do not have no money to pay for you. I might get sued with you too for loving the show. Love my Cayman Islands and my few good friends. You all take care. What a mess, Jill. All right, let's move on. So I need to talk about Juliana O'Connor Connolly. What a hot mess. We're going from one hot mess to the next. Ay. Ciao. Yeah, I don't know what to say sometimes. One more comment says, we equals men. Leona Tibbet, she's beautiful on the inside, and that beauty is all that matters. Another person says, LOL, you're so shady. Unfortunately, the rush hour came in last. Morning, by the way. You're killing them because not only did you stay in your own lane, you created your own lane and invited us all along for the ride. Oh, wow. Thank you. This is so nice. And think about it. Only one little Caymanian girl beating up big news business. The compass is dead. Long live CMR. Aw, you're such a sweetie patootie. Love you enough, Sandra. Drag her. There's a relation to Miss Cayman. Drag her, this person says. You can't cure bitchiness. Tiffany's using the weave to hide the tumor. Lord Jesus. Hot mess. No, sir. This person says, slow down, Sandra. Don't blow a fuse. We need you alive and well. Honey child, God's willing. We all right here. So President Biden announced that this young lady is free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. She is free at last. Now, don't go breaking no more laws, honey child, because you're not going to get a second chance. All right, beautiful people. Beauty pageants aside, let's look at someone who is not a beauty pageant. Very intelligent woman. I'm talking about Juliana O'Connor Connolly. However, I find that Madam Juliana O'Connor Connolly seems to often be misguided. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm conflicted about Juliana, and I got to tell you why. I see this woman get up, and she has the gift of being an orator. She's like me. She don't write down no notes. She speaks well. You know, she gets up on a podium. She can speak on her feet. She can think on her feet. She's a former lawyer, isn't she? And so from that perspective, the package looks good. She professes to be a Christian. And I can't speak to anybody's level of Christianity or not, because I ain't the man who's going to be judging anybody, or a woman. God could be a woman. I'm not that person who's going to be judging. Yeah. Not in that sense of the word, but I'm going to judge what you're doing right here, impacting the lives of people on this beautiful island. So, honey child, she is the paragon of virtue. Skirts down to the ankle. Not got a man, not got a boyfriend, celibate, I guess. I won't talk about those stories. And, walks around, came on back. She's the queen of the brat. So yesterday, she got a little bit salty for a so-called Christian lady, especially. She got upset. And, I kind of find it interesting, the things that we get upset about. Now, y'all remember when the parliament met the last time? That was October. Was it the first week of October? When they were fighting off the progressives and their ridiculousness, vote of no confidence, this, that, next thing. And then last week, was it last week? The time flying so quickly. They picked a new Speaker of the House, and Juliana is the person who abstained. Now, y'all might have seen it, but you didn't know who was abstaining, right? So everybody on the government side voted in favor of Sabrina, except one person. Obviously, the opposition voted in favor of who they were putting forward. So when I first heard the first vote, I'm like, they entered a blank ballot, throwaway ballot. I'm like, who would do that? Oh my gosh. TD, Kathy, Wilkes, somebody up in your own camp don't like you. At least one person, if not more. But this person is making it obvious. And I started to think to myself, you know me now, I'm on a mission. Which one of them salty bees could that be? I know it's not the premier. It's not the deputy premier. Sabrina and Kathy, sometimes women get competitive with each other. And I know poor Kathy was feeling competitive with Sabrina. Sabrina's in her lane doing her own thing. I'm going to tell you all the truth. Sabrina has redeemed herself in a way that I didn't think was possible after her little misstep during the election. She's a good worker now. She's a good minister. And I'm not telling you that this is my opinion. I'm listening to other people. Yes, honey child, Sabrina has stepped up. She has performed. And she continues to perform. The underdogs, sometimes you're like, oh no, we lost faith in her. Child, she done redeemed herself. She just got to keep on the straight and narrow. And then some other women over there who are not doing that, and they be trying to get salty over it. So when I saw that one person put in a blank, I'm like, oh, okay, that's odd. Then they did the same thing with deputy. They put another blank piece of paper for deputy speaker, which John got. Now I'm thinking, wow, I need to start my CMR digging because there is a mystery here that needs to be solved. What the heck is going on? Well, y'all know Strong Wilson, Sandy, you're killing me. Well, y'all know I got it. Apparently, y'all ready for this exclusive? Listen up now. Turn up the radio. If you're listening on radio, turn it up because you want to hear. You want to hear what I'm about to tell you. Juliana O'Connor Conley, a.k.a. JuJu, also known as Judas among the political circles, because she's the person who jumps any which way, for her own political gain. Apparently, Juliana wanted Speaker of the House. What did I just say? Y'all heard me. She wanted Speaker. Let me do it again. Here was the plan, according to JuJu. She wanted Speaker. That's less work, you see. Some of them be lazy and they just want Speaker. Making that money, sitting not doing nothing. And she wanted them to give John Ministry of Education. Honey, chill. What the hell? All right. Y'all paying attention? Class is definitely in session now. What a mix-up situation. Yeah. Imagine. She's already a failure as Minister of Education. Let's just be honest. I don't care who like it from who don't like it. Yeah. We were all disappointed when we heard that this government had to work with her and gave her back her old ministry, which by everybody's account, she's a failure at. Yes, Ms. Bonnie said, what a banger, right? You got that right. With a capital B, A, and the rest of it. Here what Leanne says, Speaker of the House, and she has failed her role now, failed her children, failed the education system. Yes, Leanne. She got more balls than I don't know what. She wanted speaker. She failed during the last progressive administration. But you know, unfortunately, this government, because the numbers were so tight, y'all need to go to the polls and make a resounding difference. Don't make enough of a difference where progressives still trying to pull a government together. You put them in the minority. Remove Alden. Remove Moses. Sorry, Moses. Remove Joey. Remove, what a deputy man name is again? No, he's now lead of their opposition. What's his name again? Mr. McTaggart. Remove them. Because they're like, oh, wow. They didn't vote our government back in, but they still voted us in individually, especially them Georgetowners who not got no sense. Voting in Barbara who don't do jack shit for 4 years. Voting in David. And you're like, David who? Yeah, David who? You don't hear nothing from him. He don't do nothing. He can't get up and do nothing. He can't read a speech. He can't do nothing. But y'all put him back in. What a sad indictment on the people of this country. So, yes, honey child. She jumped up, wanted speaker. I don't know what is worse, honestly. The sad thing is, it's not that Juliana is not an intelligent woman. And this is where I said at the onset that I am conflicted. Because this proves my point. You can be as intelligent as you want to be. That's not the end all and be all. Just like Tiffany, you can be half pretty minus the head. You can have the body. But if other things are missing and the inside is rotten to the core, it don't make no difference. You still not beauty queen material. You still not a good person. So JuJu, smart, intelligent, look like she got a little bit of a crazy, religious, lazy streak to her. Sorry, Juliana. Not sorry. But yeah, honey child. No, sir. You have failed education. And I don't know who telling you that you deserve a promotion, but it's definitely not the people of the Cayman Islands. Do you all know that when she got that ministry again in the last Bangarang of the horse trading and whatever, the number of people that messaged me saying, Sandy, no, please tell us the Pat government not giving her back education. And I was like, oh God. They said, why? Our poor children. Lord Jehovah, them can't get no jobs. You know, education failed them left, right, and center. Now I'm getting messages from the poor children. They're messaging me. Miss Sandy, we need you to speak on our behalf because there are predators in the school system, teachers, who are looking at us a particular way like we're a piece of meat. Yeah. Y'all saw this post? I got pull it up for y'all here in a second. Give me a second now. They're touching us inappropriately. We're trying to make complaints. We're asking for help, and nobody not listening because they walk around with the skirt down to their legs, thinking that because nobody not trying to get under their frock tail, that our children are safe with these predators in the school system. Well, y'all know that Dana got that. Hello. One thing I will not tolerate is a predator amongst our children. And they are saying, Miss Sandy, it's not even just one, it's more than one. And the education system, the ministry is turning a blind eye. They tell them, to go to church, because I got to solve the predators amongst us. They're not addressing it. Children have been fighting in schools, turning more violent by the minute. And this woman has never once got up and say, this is the plan. This is how we're going to address violence in our schools. On Friday, we had a bunch of them arrested for having marijuana in school. The woman, they're covering up exorcisms being performed in schools, and they return the teacher to the environment. All now we don't know where the principal is, but you better believe she's getting full pay to sit home studying more theology. Our education system is on life support. And Juliana has got to take responsibility for it. So yesterday, now she jumps up in the LA, salty as she wants to be. Now listen. Fair is fair and right is wrong, right and wrong is wrong. Kathy, not qualified for the position of speaker. Can she learn it? If she's dedicated, of course, anybody can, well, I wouldn't say anybody, but I'm sure she's capable. She'll eventually get there, I suppose. So in terms of qualifications now, Juliana has been there for donkey years. I'm sure with her eloquent speaking, ruby, not so ruby lips, I should say, God-fearing tongue, telling out the lesbian and LGBTQ plus community, she would actually have probably made a pretty good speaker. She's well versed in parliamentary procedure. She knows the law. She's practiced the law, and she's been there long enough to see every single possible scenario almost in Parliament. So from that perspective, she might have been the preferred choice, but to swap her out for John for education. Now, John, I've given you an opportunity to prove yourself these days, but you're not no education minister, honey child. You are not a minister, and you know I gotta tell you the truth, no matter what. You are not very good as a minister of health, and education, I dare say, I think would be worse. Not everybody must jump up and want to be minister. We need worker bees in the community, at the community level. Yeah. You're also busy looking for title and position that you forget the good common sense elements of what is required to make this country work. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians. That's why I'm over here in my little Indian corner, saying I'm ready to work. We can solve issues in this community one person at a time, one neighbor at a time, one community at a time, one family at a time, and you don't even have to be involved in politics. Take that. Much less, oh, I must be a minister. I must be Speaker of the House. Y'all sit down with your greedy behinds now. You're wanting a little bit too much, and you're not earning it, and that's a problem. Morning, caller. Caller, you okay? Uh-oh. Are you with us? Caller, I hear you breathing, but I can't hear you talking. Talk up to things, my friend.
I'm looking for it.
What's going on? Tell me.
Not a thing, but I'm hoping that I got the wrong impression, because what I hear you alluding to in the schools, not the administration side, I ain't touching that, but the classroom situation there. Really, you got sexual predators. Is that what you're alluding to?
I'm not alluding to it. I'm telling you straight up that we have teachers who are sexual predators.
Oh my God. And yes. You're talking about my minister, the Minister of Health. let me tell you something. I went to the pharmacy the other night to pick up medicines for Beauty. And when I walked into the pharmacy, I thought I was in a upscale day spa. Girl is on the ball. Oh my gosh. Have you gone to the new pharmacy here on Smith's Road?
No, my dear. Which pharmacy that is? HSA?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes,
the pharmacy.
yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
Like walking inside, I was waiting for somebody to come in my glass of Kool-Aid or sorrel or non-alcoholic wine or something, or a little, what do you call that thing again? Champagne or something like that. Oh my gosh. And the security was jumping. Well, he must have could see the deficit. He jumped over and took away the IT thing from me and was just asking me the information. Girl is on the ball. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, honey child.
Bye-bye.
I just dropped my mouth. Somebody said John in education. Isn't that an oxymoron? Oh, Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. Lord, come down. Come over, Yasso. We need you this morning. An oxymoron. Y'all know what an oxymoron is, right? It's like two words that contradict each other. Lord Jesus. Wow. There's something to be said for politicians accepting that they must actually earn something in life. This entitlement theme seems to run deep from beauty queens straight through to politicians. Miss Ethel's in the house. Says, morning. Good morning, Sandy Hill. Talk to things, them. Chill. Johan is here with his salty self. What does Johan Moxham say today? He says, how does CMR always get the scoop, but we've been told that there aren't any leaks from within the political group, civil service, RCAPS, HSA, government entities. You not business with how we getting it, child. Go take a seat in the back of the classroom before I have to take out my ruler and your little knuckles. He says confidentiality is a myth in Cayman. What makes you think anything is confidential? And the leaks not coming from where you think they're coming from. Confidential? Child, please. If somebody else know it, just consider it no longer confidential. It's as simple as that. Poor Johan. He must have working for the police these days. He's like, where are the leaks coming from? You know, I'm going to tell you where they're coming from. They're coming from Nunya. You know where Nunya is? Have you heard of it? None your damn business. That's where the leaks are coming from. Oh, Jesus. No, sir. Good morning, Sandra. She says, go, Sandy. Aliana says, you leave Mr. David alone. Really? Don't get me started on him. Jonathan says, the bush has eyes and ears in Cayman. Yep. Paul says, Sandy, you need to get a whistling bomb effect. You know what? I used to have one. Oh, that was the air horn. Yes, I do need to add some more effects to the board because my board is half empty with those. I'm gonna work on that. I'll put that on my to-do list, Paul, maybe over the holidays. But I can't hear my air horn. What's going on with my sound? Whoa, that one doesn't work anymore. Anyway, we'll get it together. Thank you, Paul. You're on a roll this morning, says Ethel. No holding back, the cold hard truth. Gabby is in a state of disbelief. She says, what? Yeah. Paul says parents need to march right up in those schools and make their voices heard. Honey, your children have reached out and said the following. Let me be very, very clear about how bad this situation is. Some teachers in John Gray, men, are always seen staring at the little girls behind and flirting with them. And one was reported for touching a girl's behind, but the females are scared to come out. Please post this, as John Gray themselves are hiding it. And it's time that everybody knows what is actually happening in the school, and it is truly disgusting. Imagine that, a student. And then a parent reached out to me this morning. Hold on now. And they said the following. Somebody said, what got into you this morning? The cold, hard truth got a little bit colder and a little bit harder. So this person said, hold on. Where is that comment? Yes. This person says, the post about John Gray is correct. This is a big adult night. There is a teacher there that was found to be sexting young girls in school. And there was even evidence of him sending pics of his parts to them on the girl's phone and on his. It was reported to the police, but they said there was not enough evidence. And he has since been promoted to assistant. What are you telling me? Somebody sending pornography of his parts to a young girl and he got a promotion? Only in the Cayman Islands would that be happening. Yeah. I was like, what? And they said, yes, a lot of staff are disgusted. I see him in the mornings and you can see that he's a real creep. Oh, Jesus. We got his picture. Oh my God. How is there not enough evidence? Okay, let me think about this. Not enough evidence for a criminal prosecution, and then you're going to turn around and promote this man into the school system? This is what I'm talking about, right? Juliana O'Connor Conley don't have a clue. She too busy going to church to be paying attention to how her children are being victimized. Yeah? This is the kind of thing, Juliana, that you need to speak out about. We don't care about all the other stuff. How long the skirt is and this, that, next thing. That's fine. Wear whatever you want. That's your democratic right and privilege. But we should be having a democratic right to be able to send our children to school and not have them be subjected to perverts in the school system. They should be able to get an education, a decent education, without the system constantly failing them. Focus on that. Make that a priority. Make that a talking point. Tabitha's in the house. Tabitha says school in Cayman really sucks and offers nothing for the kids. We're more worried about what the kids look like than if they can read or write. Alejandro says, I used to go to Red Bay Primary School and had to switch to West Bay Primary. That changed my life. There are bad things going on in Red Bay Primary. That's very bad practice. And they don't believe the children when they make a complaint. Wow. That sounds interesting and sad and makes me wonder what kind of things you're talking about. Tabitha says, get rid of them all, hire off island. But hold on now. Hire who off island? The teachers? Listen, honey child, the teachers that we're talking about are not Caymanians. Not yet. I haven't seen any Caymanian name come up. So be careful who you're hiring from overseas because you don't know their track record. You don't know what they're really up to. Johan is such a nut. He says, Obia, priests and priestesses are currently burning candles for CMR. Sandra, you two out of order. Well, the truth cannot be out of order. The truth is the truth is the truth. You can bend it any kind of way you want, and it still remains the truth. Strong Will says, Sandy, what's gotten into you this morning? You're going to shoot you. They're going to shoot you. Be careful. My belly button is killing me. Child, please. The truth will set you free, Julie. JuJu. Take it from me. You need to retire. Time to step down and give somebody else a chance. So what brought on this conversation this morning? Let's have a look. Alejandro, Ms. Bonnie says, talk the truth, but elections soon come around the corner. Yes, child. So yesterday in the Legislative Assembly, apparently a photographer came in and didn't have a badge. And I guess the members of the parliament were not notified because, like I tell y'all, Juliana rolling in the Tiffany Conley Club. She's not an ordinary person. She's kind of special still. Why weren't we notified? Well, in all fairness to JuJu, there are protocols that must be followed. And like I said, poor Kathy's over here, not really qualified for the job. And she's trying to learn on the fly. So apparently she made yet another mishap as Speaker of the House. Just be prepared for many of them is all I can tell you. 5 years later, she'll get it right if she gets back in. Yeah. So Julie is the first one now to jump on the bandwagon about, oh, what have you done? Letting this man in here, this GIS photographer, this, that, and the next thing. And I mean, she got so friggin' salty. Man, I see salty like this up in Parliament in a long time. Miss Brenda says nothing wrong with the new building, but it's still running on the old batteries, honey child. Yes. Julie actually got upset about something in the Cayman Islands. Y'all listen, yeah? And it has nothing to do with education. She's not upset that her children are learning, and some of them dumber than a stack of bricks. I hate to tell you as parents, but this is the truth. She's not upset that there are predators who are in there trying to get access to your poor children, sending pee-pee pictures and all kind of stuff. She's not upset about none of that. She's not speaking out and getting upset when a coach was convicted for going after a teenage girl. Yeah, football coach. She's not upset about MPs who have been convicted of assaulting women. She's the senior woman in the Legislative Assembly, and she remains silent. She don't speak up. She's not worried about pedophiles. Thank you, Jim. She's not worried about perverts. She's not worried about none of that. You know what gets her upset? A guy comes into Parliament and she don't know who he is, and Kathy didn't follow the right protocol of notifying her of who he is, and she don't want him taking no pictures of her and her frock tail. Because heaven forbid, he might take a picture of her doing something that she's not supposed to be doing. And she makes mention of it. Well, that is how these pictures get. No, Julie, you're not even paying attention. You showing up to Parliament and you must be half asleep. Because the irony of it is, over the years, the pictures that have leaked out of MPs sitting there sleeping, they claim their eyes were just closed, their eyelids needed to rest, wasn't done by no photographer. That was done by your own MPs. Looking across the aisle saying, oh, look, McKeeva's sleeping again, take a picture. This one's sleeping again, take a picture. And they circulated it and they leaked it. No official photographer has ever done such a thing. So I don't even know what the hell this woman was talking about. Why is she getting all upset for? Making, as Aunt Lottie would say, a hill out of a molehill. Taking the most minute something and wants to make it breach of national security. If you're going to lend your voice to something, lady, madam, not speaker, lend it to something of value that the people of this country care about. Something that is going to add value to our lives. Miss Charlene, tell me the ting, talk the ting, girl.
Well, the thing is, I sent you this last night. It's a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh, I keep getting it wrong. Why is that hill out of a molehill?
Yes, it's a mountain out of a molehill.
Thank you, my dear child.
And I was going to copy up a while ago when I called, but I said, no, that's taking it, but it's a mountain out of a molehill. What happened to the police? What happened to the truancy police from the States?
She must have working this morning. she'll log in later. A mountain. Okay, thank you so much, child. I'm getting it wrong. A mountain out of a molehill. Yes, that's it. That's what she's doing. And she's trying to make it Mount Everest, like the biggest mountain in the whole wide world. Come on now. We gotta expect more out of the Cayman Black representatives over there. Yeah, so you want to see the hot mess going on with the drugs and stuff in Cayman Black? And Julie not speaking up about none of that. She not business with that. What mess. I mean, it really does make me wonder what's she doing. Wow. Rockers, y'all need to do better. Anyway, we got the video clip for y'all to watch. Marshall says that Julie's upset for all the wrong things. Her focus is a focus. She needs to go. Miss Brenda says the children should do a public post with these perps, and send their pictures, name them and shame them. Gabby says in her defense, I'd probably be dropping asleep too. But Gabby, you're not being paid to sit there and do that job. Yeah? Alejandro says Caymanians or these individuals. Miss Charlene, you hot today, boy?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not gonna kill them, and I'm not gonna kill them all. Because when we're not doing good, Cayman not doing good. That's Cayman Brack, little Cayman and Owen Island. None of us not doing good. But you know, I do believe that good American school education. I do believe that at some point in time, you can pull the troops together, and this will be the premiere. You can pull the troops together when things are not going so good. How some high level professionals come in and just give them talking points. Sometimes you lose your way. I mean, I do believe that sometimes you lose your way. Just because, I mean, it does sound good. And if it's half true, it is not good.
So, let me be clear about what you're saying. You think need to give Juliana O'Connor Conley talking points?
All of them.
But I just told you that, let me be very clear. Of all of them, she has the skill of being an orator more than anybody else. She don't need no talking points, I can tell you that. She got the gift of gab. She can talk.
We know that.
But it's more about the substance, not just the talking. It's more about if you really care about these issues, if you're passionate about these issues, then you would step up to the plate. I can't give Juliana O'Connor Conley passion, you know. They're not for sale.
No, she's just a human being. At the end of the day,
you're getting soft on me now, chill.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, she's just a human being, and she still got at least 2 years in that post, unless they oust her, and that's not gonna be pretty for this country either.
Well, she can sit down for 2 years and do absolutely nothing. If you want to know the truth.
But no, but she shouldn't be doing that either. Well, she has something.
Yeah, I mean that's obvious. She got a lot that she could be doing.
Yeah. So why not? But that, I believe it is so needed, because everybody seems to have lost their way to a certain degree. You got people all over this world that work in politics and do nothing else than sharpen the tools in the drawer that we voted for. That's their job, and they pull big butts to do it. They go all over the world, and maybe all of our politicians, I mean, those hopefuls, those from the other side, all of them just need a little, and maybe that should become a thing in the middle of the administration every 2 years. And Pico, you pull them in and you say, sit them down, and let us go through this little book here again. Let us look at this video again. Let us do this room again. Because this is not that good listening to as a Caymanian this morning, I tell you the truth. I mean, you know, the vetting of people in key positions, it should not be a thing we're talking about. And I think primarily that's what this boils down to. Vetting of people in key positions when they're dealing with the vulnerable. We shouldn't have to have reports from students and parents, and seems like nothing else. Sometimes, like I say, sometimes people just lose their way. Let us be kind.
Let me tell you something, honey child. I don't elect a politician for them to be losing their way, especially when they're a seasoned politician, been there for most of 20 years. They should be the high performers. They should be the high performers, the high functioners. They should be setting an example for the younger ones. I shouldn't be out here in
Are
the
you that
streets trying to
wrong?
tell them how to do their job.
I
Because
know.
when that happens, I think it's time for them to go.
I know the attitude, but even
Mhm.
if they go, they are still strong voices in the community. So even if they go,
Mhm.
they can be detrimental or they can be progressive
Let
and
me,
performing and
Charlene,
positive.
let me remind you on the topics over the past years that Juliana O'Connor Conley has lent her voice to in a strong way. Okay. You might want to hang up and just listen to this. I think this is important.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But I'm
darling.
still talking to Mr. Premier to find a solution.
Yeah, child. His solution gonna be he need to fire somebody. But anyway, thank you, honey, child. So listen, Juliana O'Connor Connolly was willing to step aside and leave her previous government with the progressives. Y'all listen carefully now. Over one single topic. It had nothing to do with your children. It had nothing to do with their education. It had nothing to do with benefiting their lives in any meaningful way. It had to do with consenting adults doing things in the privacy of their own friggin' homes. LGBT issue, that is what got this woman up in arms and on a platform. Remember when she sent out that prayer request? Hold on now. Because y'all got short-term memories. Yes. How do you spell her name again? O-C-O-N. Hold on now. Let me see if I can find this prayer request, honey child. This woman was calling down damnation on everything. September the 4th of 2020, Minister O'Connor Conley begs for prayer for evil civil partnership law. This has been her focus. The one thing this woman gonna lend her voice to, and I'm gonna play it for y'all because, like I said, I know your memories are short and you do not remember how things go. Yeah? So listen, and listen carefully to what she is willing to lend her voice to. It's important. Here we go. Ready? Oh, Lord Jesus. Why can't I hear it? Hold on now. Oh, no. All right, give me a second here. The audio on this, and I hear a thing. Y'all hold on now. Can y'all hear that? Because I can't hear nothing. I gotta import it in. Give me one quick second. Because y'all need to hear this. Yes, this is what the woman cares about. This is what brings her to her knees in prayer, not the fact that predators are going after her children. Scott says, just got out of the car, but this education topic, such a undiscussed, what's the rest of that says? Undiscussed catastrophe. Yes, it's a catastrophe, all right. Roni says, good morning, Sandy. Keep up the good work of holding public servants accountable. Yes, teachers and the Ministry of Education shouldn't be making the children helpless in school and growing up. The Minister of Education should go into the schools and let the children know that their rights, and him and her will protect them when they're on the right side of the law. Isn't it so ironic, Roni, that we castigate our children when they're doing wrong, but when they are the victims? And I saw some of your comments on social media. Oh, tell the kids that they have rights. They're children. We are supposed to be protecting them from these predators, putting systems in place. To this day, as far as I know, we still don't have the national policy on making sure that we protect our children. Where is my little friend there? It used to be over at the Red Cross, Carolina. She's been fighting this battle too. Yeah. This is what has been happening in this country, and there's too many people turning a blind eye. And you want to know the God's truth? You want to know why they're really turning a blind eye? because too many of them related to the predators. They know who they are, and some of them predators too. Y'all take that scoop. Here she is.
Good morning, pastors. This is Sister Juliana O'Connor Conley from the Cayman Islands, a member of the Church of God Holiness and a member of Parliament. I am respectfully and humbly requesting that all those who know the value of an effectual, fervent prayer to please petition heaven this morning on behalf of our beloved Cayman Islands. Today apparently is the day that the governor will put into force the civil partnership law and all the ancillary laws that he's amending under Section 801 of our Constitution. In my respectful view, this will be a seismic shift in our Christian heritage in the way we have followed God over the years. Indeed, he has founded it upon the seas. So I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm imploring to please cry out on our behalf, because two can chase 10,000, and there are many more of you within this pastoral group. So remember Cayman in a special way today. Remember the church, remember the word of God, that he will give us an Elijah deliverance so that they will know that he is still the Lord our God. Our God reigns. We know that, but we need the world to know it. Pray for our government, our governor, the FCO, and those who are supporting this evil that is being forced upon us. I thank you most sincerely. God bless you.
Let me listen to that again now. Hold on.
Good morning, pastors. This is Sister Juliana O'Connor Conley from the Cayman Islands, a member of the Church of God Holiness and a member of Parliament. I am respectfully and humbly requesting that all those who know the value of an effectual, fervent prayer to please petition heaven this morning.
All right. Let me just stop you right there, honey child, because we definitely need to do some petitioning. Can I petition on behalf of our children? Can I petition for that long-awaited sex offenders registry that we not see all now? You've been in government for how many years? 20 years? Can we petition for someone to be the voice of children in education in the community? Can we petition for you to send an email this God-fearing Thursday morning to all of your school administrators and to the ministry to say, I'm hearing of these very disturbing stories about children being preyed upon, and I'm not talking about the kind of praying that you're doing, right? By these first-class predators in our schools. What is our plan of action to make our children feel safe? How can they get an education when they're trying to hide their little bonkies from these perverts, from looking and touching them and wanting to send them messages on their phones? Can we hear about that policy, the child protection policy for John Gray and Clifton Hunter and all the elementary schools? Can we have some prayer upon that? Can we call on the Lord and Juliana O'Connor to do her job? I am sick and tired of the foolishness. Political expediency. And the damn fools keep voting y'all back in. And yes, I call y'all the damn fools that keep voting these people back in. They do nothing. They do not perform. They're making top dollar. And every 4 years, here they come with the cockamamie stories again, promises full of hot air. And the people are so easily fooled by the wolves in sheep clothing. Here we go again. Oh, I'm going to promise you this. I'm going to deliver this. I'm like, honey child, you've been in there for how long? You're not delivering nothing yet? Yeah? Is it too much to ask that we get some prayer upon that?
Half of our beloved Cayman Islands. Today apparently is the day that the governor will put into force the civil partnership law and all the ancillary laws that he's amending under Section 801 of our Constitution. In my respectful view, this will be a seismic shift in our Christian heritage
Lord.
in a way.
You know what would be a seismic shift? That double entendre. Is that a double entendre? Seismic shift. You know what is a seismic shift? Or what would be? If our children were actually prioritized in this country. Wouldn't that be amazing and beautiful? That would be worthy of something. Seismic shift. Yes, sir. Miss Brenda says she's drinking her Blue Mountain coffee this morning. It's the best in the world. You go there, honey.
We
Child.
have followed God over the years. Indeed, He has founded it upon the seas. So I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm imploring to please
Yes.
cry out on our behalf,
I
because
am
two can
crying out on
chase
behalf of the
10,000.
children.
And
I'm asking and begging and pleading and praying on their behalf. At least make their school environment safe. Some of these poor children are not safe at home. They got predators in their household. And then they go to school and they got predators in the household. Like, really? Shame the devil, Julie, madam. Shame the devil by actually stepping up and helping the people in need. Hear what this person say? Petition heaven that she loses the next election. It's all I call her. 2 people called me at work to tune into your show. Seems you finally called her Judisana. Lord Jesus. This person says, John and education. Is that an oxymoron? JuJu is too busy shopping at Foster's and costs you less. Sometimes has 2 shopping carts at once. She's not going after them because some of her own colleagues, kaboom, birds of a feather. What? Someone says, I hear that she's lighting up every government building because she hears she's going to have compilation in 2025. What the hell is compilation? What is that? Is that some sort of new religious order? What the hell that is? I'm not really sure what that is. This other person says Wayne Panton should have had a 2-inch leash on JuJu's neck to keep her in line in mandatory monthly education meetings. He knew she was a damn failure. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, that she have competition in 2025. I hear she's lighting up every government building because she have competition. Oh, well, I mean, she had competition last time. And let's be very frank and very honest. I mean, somebody who sits on all day smoking pot was a potentially better option than Juliana, which is kind of sad when you think about it, because some of y'all were riding hard for him, but he would have to stay sober enough to actually get some work done. Leanne says Christian at her own convenience, a damn shame. Alejandro says, I outside, yeah, loud speaking with my Brazilian bold. You and that Brazilian bold again. Jonathan says that church talk is how they trick most of the people. Well, Sue says she's just too much about religion. Petition heaven, how crazy is this woman? No way she should be our education minister. For schools, she does nothing to help at all. It's sad. It is very, very sad. Marshall says that she's going straight to hell, but I'm not indicting her because I don't know where the hell she's going. But I agree with the second part. She needs a petition for those sexual predators in the community, not for consenting adults who choose to do what they want behind closed doors. I'm just saying. JD says that religion is a social construct. Yes, religion is designed to control and profit from the masses through the power of fear and the false promise of life after death. Well, let me tell you one thing. It's the promise of fear and foolishness, because they prey on you because they believe you're foolish. Darlene asking for Elvis this morning. I don't know where poor Elvis is. Jonathan said we need Elvis on the phone. We got Charlene on the phone. Morning, Charlene.
Again, but let me ask you something. And I intended to mention it, and I forgot. No great orator. And then you mentioned it. This sexual register for predators that you have been on about for about what you say for a minute now, for at least 2 minutes now. That is years old, and maybe even at least a decade old. We really need this thing up and running. And like I said, for a long time, I was hesitant because I know that I believe, not know, I believe that that can be used in two ways, you know? So I was kind of hesitant, but this situation goes on and on and on, and it seems like these people operate fearlessly. So something has to be done. And yeah, I talk about the government again, from whichever government. Something has to be done that is better than what is being done. You can't every 6 months have this kind of outcry in the community. And right now I ain't talking about how the country looks alone, but for the children shouldn't have to not want to go to school, find a way to formulate another lie today, make the home unhappy, to be ragged at the end of the day because of what is this criminality is what it really is. But then again, when you're asking a question, or somebody asks a question, I don't remember how it goes. But what about saying it's not enough evidence or something? What about the MASH unit? Is there not a unit called the MASH unit that was pulled together so apparently that no child or similar situation and circumstances would ever again fall through the cracks? Am I right?
Well, yes, they're there, honey child. But, you know, I think that the point here is that the administrators need to put a message out there that this type of behavior will not be tolerated, and all teachers will be dealt with immediately, even as an investigation is continuing. And instead of promoting them into administrative positions, they need to remove them from the schools entirely. So the MASH
you
unit
can't have
often,
people in administrative positions with this kind of belief and behavior.
exactly. But I mean, obviously we have it going on. And the people, my point is, the people who should be lending their voice to a solution, lending their voice to, oh my gosh, this is what we should be outraged about, can only be outraged about gay people. That's a problem.
But I going back to the MASH unit. I think this was a unit of agencies combined.
It is. But once the complaint gets to them, they will start to launch the investigation. What I'm saying to you is, even before the complaint gets to them, there has to be policies in place that address this at the school level. Where are those policies? Where is a safeguarding policy?
Okay, say they're not there. Say they are there. I can't believe there are no policies. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. So I can't believe it. What I'm saying, in the meantime, can a parent make a complaint to the police?
They call the police.
Well, at that point, that complaint is made.
Do you understand what the children are saying? The children are saying that they're afraid, they're being intimidated. And the one young lady who came forward and made a complaint for somebody touching her behind, they were told by the MASH unit and the police there was no merit to, like, they didn't have enough evidence. It's her word against this kind of situation.
Yeah, well, this is where I come in with where is the MASH unit, because I thought how the MASH unit was introduced to the public, or how I understood it, it is that the shenanigans would have to stop. And a long time ago, it was the policy where a lot of the intimidation of the children, the victims, was going on. But with this MASH unit now, they would dig deeper, they would go deeper, they would, you know, to get to the truth. So in my simple mind, simple, you know, once a complaint is made, there's going to be somebody drilling down, pressing the bricks, knocking on doors, making phone calls, you know. And if you got evidence of telephonic transfer,
yes.
Communication, thank you, from one phone to the next, and from one phone you're showing off your sexual parts to a child, going to another phone, to the child's phone, I don't see why that's not evidence enough to at least look,
honey
and why
child,
that evidence couldn't hold up
that
in
is
family
evidence
court.
enough to get a conviction. I can tell you that. I know.
But
So I don't know.
I think it should be. But then my question this morning is, I wouldn't even look at the policies because government put the MASH unit in place. So let us say everybody else is falling down. Let's say yes to that. Let's say yes to that. Even the people who are falling down should come up this morning and say, yeah, I fall on my sword this morning.
But listen,
but then where is the MASH unit?
When it comes to protecting our children, prevention is better than cure. Yes? We don't want victims.
Of course.
We don't want to create victims where we're trying to fix broken children because then they end up like Miss K. Man where they're crazy. Okay? So we want to do our best to prevent our children from being victimized. And in order to do so, we need to have effective child protection policies, not reactive policies after the child done been damaged and assaulted by these damn predators. That is where the policy and the actions and the minister lending her voice to this important issue becomes a valid point. So that's what I'm saying.
It's very valid. But I go back to the MASH unit. All of that has failed. Yeah, and I agree with you 1,000%. I'm not disagreeing.
So I understand the MASH unit, but the MASH unit is after the child has already made a complaint. My conversation this morning is about protecting children on the front end. How do we do a more effective job of that? Why are we refusing proper sex education in our schools? Because of religious beliefs. And I'm telling you that there are schools who have denied the governor's office and other units from age-appropriate programming to tell children how to be on the lookout. What is, good touch from bad touch? How to protect themselves because, oh, no, that's too close to sex education. And we don't want our children knowing that sex even exists. This is the stupidity that we have introduced into this country. And sadly, it rides on the back of religions and churches in this country. That is an undisputed fact. I have had the powers that be come to me and say, how do we penetrate these churches to get on board with protecting our children where they are refusing the curriculum? Because, they're a church and they don't want to talk about sex and they don't want to do this and they don't want to do that. They don't even take the time to understand the point of these types of programs and how it protects and arms children with the knowledge. So that anybody, the first instance of someone touching them, the child feels protected. They feel safe. They're in an environment where they know that they can go to an adult and they're going to get help. So even as perpetrators try to use their 25, 35, 45 plus years of knowledge and experience on these little boys and girls, when they come at them with their foolishness, you better not tell nobody. You're going to break up your family. You're going to do this. The children feel confident that if I go and tell my mommy, if I tell a school teacher, if I tell the minister of education, these people are going to listen to me and they're going to believe me and they're going to do something about stopping these predators. That's the conversation that we need to be having. And instead, Juliana O'Connor is focusing on who coming into Parliament without a friggin' badge. Let me go
strangers.
Yes, strangers. Let me play the clip, folks, because y'all need to see how salty she was getting over this again. Her passion in life, and I can see that she does have a certain passion for certain things, but the things that she has a passion for is what is bothering me. The things that she should be having a passion for, and I'm hearing it. Yeah, and I don't see it. Alejandro says you got to teach them while they're young. Darlene says, Sandra, most of the administrators and teachers may be listening to Kim and Malwood now. Well, I hope to God they are. Because if they are, they know that they're also falling down on the job too. Ultimately, the minister is held responsible, but let us be very clear. A lot of the civil servants are the ones who are failing our children. So this is a sad indictment on them as well. This lays at their feet that I've got adults, parents who can send me pictures saying, here's one of the predators, known, and yet he gets promoted. Juliana, don't promote people. The civil service promotes people. The deputy governor, morning, France Manderson, he's back on the job. Good to see you back in the seat, sir. That whole system is part of promoting the wrong people. Scott says, MASH, what? Whatever happened with our exorcism claims and investigation in Red Bay? We hear nothing because it's sanctioned by the Minister of Education. How is what happens to be, amongst other things, child abuse, go unaddressed and not communicated to the parents and public? And once again, Scott, to your point, the public would have known nothing about that incident if it wasn't for CMR bringing that story to the forefront. We are the ones who listened to the parents. The parents came and said, Sandy, this happened to my child. The public needs to know that there was 20 children that this woman was trying to throw friggin' holy water on and exercise them and pushing ideas in their head because of her sick obsession with homosexuality. Why are you talking to 8 and 9 years olds about what is their sexual preference? But yet you don't want to educate those same children on how to protect themselves from sexual predators. This is where I'm telling y'all that something is wrong, you know? Something is inherently wrong with our people. And she's one of us. Crazy as she want to be, this so-called exorcism woman is one of us. She been watching too many batshit crazy movies. But you know, boy, I tell you something. This is the kind of foolishness why I can't put my child in no government school, you know. Because of the lack of accountability. She would see what kind of exorcism she'd be getting. Her head would be spinning when I finish with her. Throwing water in the poor children's eyes and all kind of foolishness. Oh, because you said you like girls and you like boys, something wrong with you. I gotta take this evil out of you. Woman, I would have shown you how to extract evil out of somebody. Leave children alone with your insanity. It reminds me of the time when I was in the United States of America and one little child walked up to me in the bathroom and they're like, oh, do you like crackers? It shows you how children often misunderstand things. Like if you don't know, you just don't know. And I was like, oh my God, yes. I love crackers. I love to eat them with cheese and I eat them with this, I eat them with that. And the other child was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. So I had to go home and ask my Aunt Lottie, what's a cracker? Because obviously I must have missed the boat. Because I'm here talking about, oh, how much I love my food, love my belly, love my crackers. I had no idea that the term cracker was a derogatory term for a Caucasian person. So here you are asking these poor children about if they like little boys and girls. And they're like, yeah, that's my friend. Of course I love her. They don't mean nothing sexual by it, you crazy woman. You're the one who's taken something that is entirely innocent. Yeah. And making it into something else. You're the evil one in case you didn't get the memo with your foolishness. This is what our children are being subjected to. And then we don't want to educate them. We don't want them to read and write and think for themselves because we want to indoctrinate them with craziness like this. No, sir. I tell you. Gabby says exactly, zero tolerance. Thank you, Miss Moya. She said there should be cameras added to all the classrooms and hallways. You know, months ago, Gabby, when and Miss Moya, when we were talking about the fights in the school and the fact that, again, the ministry had nothing to say about it, they're not talking about nothing. I said, you know, I would have, if I was Minister of Education, I would have called an emergency meeting with all of the parents to try to figure out why we were having 4 and 5 fights a day. Because the mere fact that your children are fighting is an indication of what the ills are in the broader society. But they want to castigate these children. Oh, they're just bad seeds. Well, if they're bad seeds, we're the one who friggin' had the seeds and raised them into bad seeds that can grow up into bad trees. So as adults, we have to take responsibility for what our children are doing, including the pot smoking in schools. the fighting, the constant fighting. They have no concept of conflict resolution. And a lot of these school administrators are not even introducing it themselves. We have got to do a better job by our children. We wonder why so many of them end up in Northward and Fairbanks and going to jail. Go back to the Yolanda Ford report. The woman said it in plain, understandable English. It starts with the families. The families are failing. The education system are failing. We're all failing our children. And then when they end up in jail, we sit back talking foolishness about, ooh, how did they get here? Chris says, I learned the same thing about a cracker while attending university. Child, I thought she was talking about food. I was like, man, I love me a cracker, of course. Julie, I know you're going to be upset with me yet today, but guess what? I'm going to tell you how it is. Just like I tell poor Tiffany how it is. And you got many, many years on her, honey child. I don't care if you get upset with me. I'm not looking to friends. I don't need you as a friend. It's all right. You're good. I'm good. I'm just asking you to please consider your actions and the power of your words, and that you have such an eloquent, voracious vocabulary that the good, mighty God has blessed you with. Use it for the good of our people, of our children. That's all I'm asking you to do. Why you got time to be up in the LA getting salty over pure foolishness? Yeah. Let's use it in a positive way. Here's the video, folks, of what went down in the Legislative Assembly yesterday. Get your second cup of coffee, your second cup of tea, your second cup of Hennessy, whatever you're drinking, because you might need to drink a little bit of Hennessy when you see this.
Speaker, on a procedural matter, please. May I get an explanation as who the stranger in the chamber is? Because under conventions, a camera should not be arbitrarily taking pictures of members. Certainly, I'm not in agreement with it. Is he a member of GIS?
Thank you. I do apologize. I failed to make an announcement earlier this morning to advise members that I have granted permission to the gentleman who is employed by GIS just for today and tomorrow to take some photographs on behalf of the government as they are rolling out a new communications plan to enhance the engagement with the public in relation to our parliament.
Madam Speaker, with the greatest respect, I take your apology and I accept your explanation. But one ought to remember that this is the People's House. There's a government and an opposition, and a camera person is not allowed to arbitrarily have their camera roaming around the place. Otherwise, we'll end up with what we had on 2 occasions before, unsanctimonious photo of a member of parliament whilst not speaking in the picture circulating on social media. That's the reason the rules are there.
I thank the Honourable Minister. If it is the wish of the Parliament for me to ask the photographer to leave, I can do so. I'll be advised by all members on.
Come on now, Kathy. You can't be a pushover in that seat. Hold your ground sometimes.
Can I ask, what is the purpose of the photos?
Thank you, Honourable Member for West Bay West. The purpose of the photos are being used for government informational services. They are rolling out a communication plan, particularly in relation to the proceedings of Parliament. And I think today was the first commencement. I do apologize, I failed to announce it earlier. However, if members wish for me to ask the photographer to leave and we can resume this later, I'll be guided.
Madam Speaker, I was generally aware of the proposal for GIS to be involved with a different approach in terms of communication of the activities of Parliament for the benefit of the people of the country. Obviously, I wasn't aware of all the specific details of it, but clearly you have given permission for the photographer to be here. I equally do not wish to stand in the way of members generally if there's a level of discomfort, but I would ask that we give the opportunity to this new communications plan for the benefit of both the opposition as well as the government to work. And of course, you can give the guidelines that you think fit, and perhaps members might have the opportunity to indicate to you what sort of guidelines you want. I understand the concerns about the potential for someone to be taking a picture of activities on someone's desk or a note that's written or something like that. But I think the attempt is laudable in the sense that it is an attempt to communicate more fully to the people of the country, for the betterment of the people of the country, exactly what the activities of Parliament are, and so they're fully aware and better informed. I think we all would welcome the opportunity for that to happen, because there's often a complaint that there's not enough communication from the members of the public. But of course, we do have concerns, and I'm not quite sure at this point how to resolve that, other than perhaps asking more senior members with longer service to express their views.
Honorable Minister of Tourism and Transport.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just rise to add a little bit of input to the current matter at hand, not from the well-experienced perspective, because this is only my second term, but from a media perspective. You, as the Honourable Speaker, have outlined that this is a government agency, a contracted worker on their behalf. Therefore, the government agency will be responsible for the content of those pictures, as well as to the distribution of which pictures would be the most appropriate. I think we should have enough confidence within our own government information services that those files will be kept in a protective manner, and whatever ones are distributed will be distributed in a very digested way. Madam Speaker, I do agree that we should be doing better with our media exposure so people can see that we are working hard in this Honourable House, and I, as member of this government, do not would want to deny the gentleman as a Caymanian for getting this job opportunity for these 2 days. He's a business owner of his own, contracted by GIS. I laud them for using Caymanians to do this job, and I would hate to know that we, based on our own fears of something potentially negative happening, take away that opportunity from the gentleman. Again, I say, once this is contracted by the Cayman Islands Government Information Services, we should feel comforted that those pictures that are taken are within the government's remit, and therefore any picture of a person, hypothetically speaking, getting caught in a yawn or rubbing their eye or something like that wouldn't get out on social media. So I think it should be allowed. That's my humble input, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I beg your indulgence. For some reason, it seems that certain persons have to elucidate on matters whether or not they have the experience or the intellectual capacity. That is not the case this morning. I raise purely...
Hold on. Pull up. Stop the presses right there. Yeah. I was going to hold my comments until the end. This is the first time I'm actually listening to this, by the way. Renee put up the story, and Renee had the privilege or not privilege of listening to this hot mess. But stop the presses. What did she just say? She just insulted poor Kenneth? Oh, honey child. This soon become Georgetown versus the sister islands. Madam, you don't need to try to insult anybody's intelligence. Okay? Because say what y'all want to say about Kenneth, and y'all know I gave him wrong when he wrong, and I gave him right when he right. He been doing more work than you, so try and hush your mouth. Talking about these junior members want to speak. Well, hold on. Let me just hear what this salted woman had to say again. Let me just hear what she had to say again. Hold on. She faced Cena.
Intellectual capacity.
Oh,
That is not the case.
he not got intellectual
Certain
capacity.
persons have to elucidate on matters whether or not they have the experience or the intellectual capacity.
Certain people have to elucidate in matters, whether they have the experience or the intellectual capacity. Wow. What she is saying, let me break it down for y'all because elucidate might be confusing y'all. Y'all trying to flip through that dictionary online now, dictionary.com. Elucidate, what the hell? She's trying to say that people are speaking on things when they have no experience and don't have the intellectual capacity that clearly she got. Well, Minister of Education, since you can elucidate and have such experience and intellectual capacity, because like I said, those two are not your excuses, then what is your excuse for non-performance? Is it just that you're lazy and you just don't care? Honestly? Is that what I'm hearing here? There's no need for you to insult the man. He's part of your team. You can have a difference of opinion. So Ms. Brenda said the minister is correct. I don't have an issue with her saying that procedure had not been followed. Again, that's what happens when you got Kathy in there not knowing what she's doing. And we have to expect that Kathy is going to make some mistakes. So if this is something that GIS has decided to do and put through this whole new communications plan and blah, 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 they could be doing this, that, and the next thing. Yes, Kathy should have informed the House of Parliament, but is this the end of the world? No. Does this require Juliana insulting Kenneth, but he not got no experience and no education? No. Lazy bones, I don't care bones, church frock bones. That's the point. So sometimes you can be right. Yeah. But when you want to start throwing around your foolishness about unsanctimonious photo, why do you always like to be using these big words on people? You know, she could have just said what she had to say and sit her behind down. But for those of you, and you need to look very closely at the woman's body language, she was fuming. Yeah. Unsanctimonious, keep that word for in your church house. She was pissed off. She was upset. And I cannot, again, help but wonder why. Why are you upset over this oversight by a new Speaker of the House? I mean, Kenneth trying to say, okay, yeah, you're right. But I mean, come on. This is a young Caymanian man. I think it was actually DJ Vaughn that was there taking the pictures. Poor him, what mess. He getting to see how immature these people are in the Legislative Assembly. Kathy made a misstep. She's apologized. Poor Kathy bowing to Julie like, I don't know what. Oh, yeah. Poor Kathy voice go down. Kathy grew a couple pairs of balls because there will be many times sitting in that seat that you are going to be challenged. And you better know your law. You better be reading your Hansards. And you better know your position. And yes, you made a mistake. You apologize. Why is Julie belaboring the point? Only God knows. Let's keep listening because she's not done yet, you know. Oh.
Capacity. That is not the case this morning. I rise purely on a procedural matter.
And
Has nothing to do whether he's Caymanian. Has absolutely nothing to do.
We got it, Juliana. We know procedurally that Kathy got it wrong. And we also now know, thanks to CMR this morning, that the only reason you're trying to show her up in procedure is because you're saying, oh, yeah, you see? You guys so fool. I should have gotten the job, not Kathy, because I would have never allowed this to happen. We get it. We understand your procedural point. It does not require you, as Mary says, respect to Kenneth, agree with him, then Juliana, I can't even say her name, Juliana, insults him how low. It says more about her that she decides to stand back up and says what she says in response to Kenneth. Miss Julie, you need to be careful. I know you believe you're untouchable in the BRAC, and BRACers might have allowed you to believe that all this time. But the right person went against you, and you're going to be just like all the other ones that have been there for 25 years and have fallen hard. Careful.
Do whether he's working with GIS. In fact, had he had on the required badge that is required by the rules there, the question would not have to been asked. He would have been properly briefed that when you're in Parliament, despite the fact that some people don't seem to recognize the importance and significance of a parliamentary democracy, you have to wear the badge, and he should have been briefed that you only take pictures of a member when he or she is standing on the feet. This is not a Hollywood Hall. This is not a PR stunt. It's the seat of democracy, and there are rules and conventions for different reasons. I have absolutely no lack of confidence in GIS and their capability to take photographs and do it the right way. But really? This is a House of Parliament, and as much as we would like to think so, it's not a House of Government. There's a government and there's an opposition, and it has to be seen. Perception becomes actuality. And for the past several months, what has obtained in this House is a erosion greater than what obtains at West Bay Beach when it comes to parliamentary sanctity and democracy. And I wish I did not have to stand to say it, but somebody has to say it.
I thank the member for her sound words. We all can appreciate her experience here. What I will do, I've already granted the member from GIS permission to take photographs, but I will ask for the parliamentary page to just have a word with him to run back over the rules which were provided. Perhaps he did not get a copy of them, and also to provide him with a badge, although it's a bit after the fact, but just so that we can have going forward. And I thank the member for her concerns. Does anyone else wish to speak on this matter?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Oh, go ahead. I give way.
Honorable member.
Thank you, Madam.
Hold on. Pull up. Did y'all just miss that? Miss Brenda said, just let it play. Hold on, Miss Brenda, because y'all might be missing certain things now. So we got to do a blow by blow. Did y'all just miss what just happened right there? The leader of the opposition, the Honorable Roy McTaggart, stood up to speak. And who trumped him and basically made him sit back down? Alden McLaughlin. Remember, I keep telling you all that when it comes to the opposition, the person who's really running the show is Alden McLaughlin. And poor Mr. Roy, he's just a puppet, and Alden is the puppet master. That right there, folks, is the best example of what I have been saying from inception with this relationship. Even though Mr. McTaggart has taken over as leader of the party, leader of the opposition, Alden tells him what to do, what to say. He's running the show. Talk about parliamentary procedure. There's no way in God's good kingdom that the leader of the opposition stands up, and because Alden jumps up 2 seconds after him, that he should sit back down. Alden should be correct parliamentary procedure, sitting his behind down. There's an order of things. If Julie wants to be so precise, there is indeed an order of things. The leader of parliament speaks first, if he wishes to do so. But you see, poor him, cowtailing and bowing down to the real master of the progressives, which is Alden. Y'all keep watching.
Speaker, I just want to say a few things which I think may have been forgotten. As the Honourable Minister who spoke, Minister for Education who spoke, said, Parliament is not an agency of the Cayman Islands government. We battle, some of us in here, the member from West Bay West, the minister who spoke herself, some of us other members, for years to give this Parliament, by legislation, the autonomy which the principles of Westminster government properly require. This Parliament is now run by a Parliamentary Management Commission. Decisions which involve matters such as this are decisions which properly ought to be taken by the Parliament Management Commission, which is made up of members of both sides of the House. The member for Education is absolutely right. What I have seen happening over this term is a situation where the government is making decisions which are properly the province of the Parliamentary Management Commission. So I don't want to get into this. I had no idea what was transpiring, but I just want us all to remember that we have a duty, not just to represent our people on matters related to their constituents or constituencies and broader policies, but we have an overriding responsibility to continue the development and preservation of this sacred concept called parliamentary democracy. For we look around the world and we see how that is being eroded in other places like the United States, where people would have thought it's not possible for democracy itself to be at stake. So I think, Madam Speaker, you are brand new at this. I certainly lay no blame at your feet. But I just want us all to remember that when it comes to matters involving the House at that sort of level, it is the Parliamentary Management Commission that should be involved and should take those sort of decisions. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Does the Honourable Leader of the Opposition still wish to speak?
No, thank you, ma'am.
For him. No, sir. The body language, honey child. I tell you, what a heat. What a heat. She's speaking for the benefit of her radio listeners. She's speaking to the, is she the clerk of the court, this young lady who sits in the middle? I think she could be. Having a word off air.
Thank you. Before we move on, I just want to remind the photographer, if you could just please refrain from taking photographs of the members only unless they are standing. And then we will have a conversation when we break for lunch.
What a hot mess. I tell you. No, sir. Kevin, you want to come in? I'm not sure. I see you on camera there. Let me know. Benji says it's funny how they speak of democracy and the right to speak. Darlene says, does anyone need a photographer for Christmas, God willing? Are you saying that photographer is now going to be free and available? Oh, the childishness in the House of Parliament. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, no, I got a little bit of observation. So I'm not sure because I have not read the procedure of taking photos in there because I haven't covered when I was a reporter, it was LA back then, and that was many years ago, and there's probably some changes or something. But you know, these sessions or live stream, I think they're actually live streaming right now. I got a notification that they're live streaming their video. What's the difference between me taking a screen capture of my video and a photographer sometimes?
I was thinking the exact same thing, Kev. What's she gonna do? If the camera happens to pan on one of them, and it does as they're sitting down, and they happen to fall asleep, and I screen capture that and put that up on social media, what are they gonna do? They can't do a damn thing.
So, you know, yeah, they probably had a procedure or it's probably written somewhere, but I mean, frankly, so a lot of our laws and procedures are very old and outdated and need to be modernized. And that's part of the problem why GIS is trying to do a better job, because they've gotten complaints from media, they got complaints from public, they got complaints from the politicians and the people that they're supposed to be serving, that they're not doing a very good job at communicating. So now GIS is actually trying to modernize and get up and running with a better procedure. And now this is a big old slap in the face to something that they're trying to do to better the Cayman Islands. I mean, when you had messaged in our little CMR admin chat that this had taken place, and so I jumped on and started looking for it. I was completely shocked when I watched it and started to cut the clip, because it was like, what just happened? Why was she so upset for someone from, it's not even a rogue reporter. I could understand her being a little upset if someone got in and the sergeant at arms there didn't stop a rogue journalist from coming in there and taking photos and not knowing who that individual is. But this is a government employee contracted by Government Information Services taking photographs of what was going on. It makes absolute no sense why she would throw such a fit and waste the people's time to spend 12 and a half, 13 minutes on this little topic.
Danny, your comments?
Actually, I have a little bit of experience with that.
Experience with what? Sorry.
Taking pictures.
Taking pictures now.
You have to get specific permission to do so.
Yes.
And I take Kevin rightly points out the difference between the video and the still image. But the still images has a different authorization. Each person has to be specifically authorized to do specific things. I take the point. If you didn't have the badge, that's a breach of the rules. But what Kevin says is true. The video captured. If the video can capture you, why can't it still capture you? However, it's up to the speaker to decide who can do what, when, where, and how. And so,
Listen,
I just say that
no one...
if you want to talk about procedure, if you want to talk about things that should be done in the house, get rid of that damn wig.
Listen, no one is taking issue with the Honorable Minister of Education's point. The procedure was not followed. I mean, obviously, she don't want to be caught falling asleep or whatever. Her, no one's taking issue with that. I think what we're taking issue with is the fact that she has belabored it and made it such a big deal. Her attitude, the rolling of the eyes, and all these other things seems to be a bit overkill, given what it is. And
well, again, when Kenneth was speaking, she was in the camera shot behind Kenneth, and you could see she's fixing her mask and throwing down books and practically shivering.
Sorry, Kevin, I couldn't hear you speaking.
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Yeah, speak up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You could hear me okay now?
Yeah, you're coming in a little bit low, but go ahead.
Okay. No, I was saying because she was right behind Kenneth in the video when Kenneth was speaking, and you could literally see her shivering and fixing her mask, and you could just see the fire, she just boiling, throwing down her book and nodding her head. It's like, what in the world is wrong with this lady on this type of issue? I mean, I could understand if it was something so controversial or something
like
that
protecting our children.
I'd
like to see that kind of passion for
something that would really cause that type of response. But this is a simple government photographer taking photos inside Parliament. I mean,
it seems like a bit of an overreaction for sure. And now that we know the backstory that she actually wanted Kathy's job as Speaker of the House, maybe that explains the attitude. I'm just saying.
And it kind of goes back even further, Sandy.
Yeah.
The way they voted. if you think about didn't she abstain in the lack of confidence
Yes,
and the voting for speaker?
Well, we mentioned that earlier. It's kind of clear that Juliana is there just to be a minister and to get that ministerial salary, but I don't think any of us believe that she's riding hard for the PAC government. And remember when I told you guys that there were negotiations going on when the PAC government was trying to unseat months ago this current government? She was the first one at the table talking to them. So let's be very, very clear. That's why she's called JuJu, amongst other things. Her loyalty.
Well,
yes, Danny.
What I'd like to say is that you see how Roy began to stand up, and then Alden afterwards.
Cowtailed is what we call it in this country. But
Well, yeah, he could give way if he chooses to.
Yes.
He didn't have to, but if he wanted to, he could. And the speaker is not gonna say, well, no, you were first.
Yes.
If he wants to give way, he can give way.
But the dynamics of that relationship is interesting. But go on.
Yeah, well, that's a different story. But I mean, like, say how the amount of time that I think we're spending on this particular issue. I think there are other issues.
No. Let's not get it twisted, Denny. We're spending time on
I'm
this
not
issue
getting anything
because
twisted.
I want to understand why this woman in the past 15 years plus has not had this kind of passion speaking about other stuff. That's all I'm saying. That to me is important.
I agree
people
that we
are
should
complaining that they don't have any representation. That
I
matters.
agree that we should be talking about more important issues. Yeah.
All
shouldn't be fooling around with nonsense.
Leave us there.
All right, take care.
All right, folks. Kevin?
Yeah. I would be very interested to know if Roy had spoken first. I would really be interested in what he had to contribute. I still want to know if it was
now we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know now, but it would have been interesting.
Yes. What a hot mess, folks. So yes, Julie gets upset. She gets fiery over this. I tell you, you cannot make this stuff up. Anyway, Parliament has begun this morning. We'll try to keep an eye on things. Lavana says there's a lot of feedback on the radio. I wasn't sure if that was Denny because I did hear a little bit of distortion or background noise, I should say, when he first called in. So I'm not sure if that was related to the phone line. Jonathan says Elvis might smoke and drink a lot, but I bet he could be 10 minutes more honest and 3 times more effective. He could be 10 times more honest and 3 times more effective. Ms. Brenda says her point is one of procedure. It was to the speaker. No one else needed to get involved. Let's be fair. Personally, I don't agree that she's wrong is belaboring the point. She responded to the responding comments. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree. It's as simple as that. I think that her attitude, and I mean, other people have a right to speak. So, you know, she brings up a point. There's nothing stopping Minister Bryan from making his contributions on the point. I mean, he tries to, again, I think add sort of a common person's element to it to say, well, you know, this is a young man who's just trying to do his job. He's not at fault. He didn't know. So I don't know who was responsible for advising him. And this is the other thing too, is quite frankly, I don't necessarily know that it was the speaker's job to be like, oh, sir, do you have on your tag? When you enter the House of Parliament, there are people who let you enter at the front door. And if they know that he's coming, which they should have known, that this now is the civil servants and administrators, they should have known that he was coming to do a specific job. And they should have said to him, okay, these are the rules. You can only take photos when they're standing. You must have your ID. Somebody should have done all of that and informed him. GIS issues, government IDs for media, right? So that when you go to things like the House of Parliament or other government functions, you can take your GIS pass with you.
And
was
at
he
the end of the day,
one by GIS?
I never heard one person opposed to the photos being taken at the end of the day. Not one.
Mm-hmm.
So they allowed him. Of course, it was within the parameters of only when people are standing and making their presentation. But none of them, whether it was the opposition, whether it was McKeever when he just wanted some clarity, or nobody else said, "Oh no, I oppose this," because the Speaker of the House, Kathy, did say, "Is anyone opposed?" She'll be guided.
This person says, "OMG, with all the money that she's making, that's how she rolls up in Parliament looking. No wonder she does not want photographs taken of her." Thankfully, she continues to wear the mask, so we don't have to see more of her. Oh, geez, peace. Look at the female parliamentarians in the UK or even the US. They dress impeccably. She has the funds to hire a stylist. Ugh. Caymanian women all grown at her. All grown. Oh, geez, peace. What a mess. Well, there you have it, folks. The most interesting thing that happened yesterday in the House of Parliament was all about being salty. There are some very, very important things that have transpired. We do have a referendum that is coming down the pipeline in relation to the gambling issue and the what's the other one? Gambling and national lottery and decriminalization of the marijuana. So we will discuss those potentially tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday already? This week just flew by.
You remember you lost Monday because you were traveling.
Yes. But Kevin, Christmas is like 3 weeks away.
It sure is. It's coming up.
Goodness. It's crazy. So we have a lot of prizes here. We have a lot of prizes here in the Cold Hard Truth that we're going to be giving away. And let me tell y'all a little bit about our competition now. So we have a competition. Somebody is going to get some cold hard cash for this part of the competition, right? So listen, we want you to submit photos or videos of your most unique Christmas decoration. This is our Christmas tree competition. Do it any way that you want. I got the idea over the weekend because the family members that I were staying with had what I considered a very unique Christmas tree. So unique that I took a picture of it. I'm going to show you guys the picture here in a second. And I was like, this is such a cool idea. People get so creative with stuff. So our cousin, Marlon's cousin really, but you know, you own your in-laws. She has 3 trees set up in her house. Beautiful trees. But the one that really caught my attention in terms of creativity was a tree. Let me show you all this now because this is pretty cool. That is full of, take a wild guess. Kevin, any idea what you think? Tell me what you think is on this tree.
I can't think of what would be on it.
Anybody? Let's give it a gift certificate this morning. Y'all need some Waffle Monkeys or Burger King in your lives. Tell me, what do you think she had her Christmas tree decorated with? Very unique idea. 936 Bobo is the telephone number. Give us a jingle. You got to call in. We'll take people on social too. Let's see what people are thinking it is. Hold on. Postcard says Akina. Nope. Coffee says Brenda. Oh, that would be interesting. Aliano says routers. Routers. Family pictures. Nope. Stacy says money. Now that would actually be really cool to have a Christmas tree with money hanging on it. But then your family members be stealing the money. Morning caller, what do you think it is?
Maybe pine cone?
No, but that's a good guess. Nope, that's not it. Christopher is guessing conch shells. That would be a pretty cool tree. Christmas cards, nope. Nobody's got it yet. Kevin?
I'm just trying to think of something unique. It's Florida, Fort Lauderdale, so I'm trying to think of something kind of.
Miss Morna says CMR mugs, childhood Christmas. She would fall over because those mugs are heavy. Plastic bottles, bottle caps, candy canes. Nope. Balloons as ornaments. Somebody else says bottle caps as well. Mask. Oh, you could do a COVID tree. That'd be pretty interesting. Snow, family pictures. The Casarina pine. Nope. None of that. Ooh, I've stumped y'all this morning. 936 Bobo. Give it a jingle. What do you think she had? Cheerios, says Diana. Diania. No, not Cheerios. 3, 4, 5 cans. Nope. Flip-flops. Nope. COVID test. No. Oh, I've stumped y'all this morning.
It's a good one. Who knows?
Yeah. We better try and give away something else as a prize.
I think you need to give us a hint, Sandy.
Okay, a hint. Oh, Lord. Akina says chocolate. Politician, says Brenda. Not the best one yet. All right, let me think of a hint. Let me think of a hint now. Ooh, Tashika says her children's items. Okay, so the hint is Tashika has gotten the closest of you all. So Tashika is on the right path. It is related to children. Good call. All right, hold on. We got another caller here who's going to take a stab at it. Caller?
Morning. Condoms.
No. That ain't it. Oh my gosh.
Did they make like bows and ribbons from children's clothes?
No. So a couple people are guessing baby clothes, school achievements, children's handprints. Oh, that's a good guess, but no. Report cards, children's drawings, the Grinch, family photos, socks. Oh, you guys are dancing all over it. Blackberry says her children's art and paintings. Baby teeth? Gabby, how many teeth do you think the woman got in the That would be kind of creepy, actually. I'm not sure I want to see a tree with baby teeth. Children's sports awards, baby shoes, children's hair clips, birth certificates. You'd probably have to have a whole clan of kids to fill up that tree. But no, none of those things. Oh, man. You guys are dancing around it. Tashika, keep thinking. Baby pictures? Nope. Man, y'all are close. Benji has gotten one step closer. He says children toys. Benji, you're getting ever so close. Gift bags, says Daddy. Children baby socks, baby bibs, locks of hair. No, Benji is close. Keep thinking. Very, very close. Michelle says Lego.
Baby shoes.
What was that one? Sorry.
Very, very close.
Michelle. Baby shoes.
Yeah.
No, honey. Benji's very close. He said baby. He says children's toys, teddy bears, Lego, baby rattles, children teddy bears. No, Denny. Good morning,
children puppets.
What was that one? Poppets. No, that would be kind of cool tree, actually. But nope, not that one. Family growth tree, pacifiers, teddy bears, children's trucks. So the one with the Chinese name, I don't know what your real name is supposed to be. You're getting closer. So it is in the category of children's toys. Let's try it again. Hello, caller.
Children's shoes.
No, not shoes. Not Pampers. Not a top gig. Video game printouts, no. Moya, you got to be more specific. So we know it's children's toys. Yes, we have got a winner.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
Miss Sherry Lee Hodgson McLaughlin. She said, laughing out loud, dolls, but it is dolls. Look at this tree. Look at this. So she said, this is so funny. Big shout out to Christine in Fort Lauderdale, that her kids, her youngest daughter in particular, was, wanting to get rid of all of her dolls. And she's like, no, we're going to keep these. So she's not playing with the dolls any longer, but look, they have made a Christmas tree decorated with dolls, and it's beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Look, all kind of dolls that she's had through her childhood. Most of them African American dolls. Moana, what's her name? Moana, and all these other dolls. Some are like in safari outfits, princess dolls, everything. The entire tree is decorated with beautiful dolls. Isn't that pretty? So that got me to thinking when I saw it. Sherry messaged me on WhatsApp, girl, we got a little prize for you. And I was thinking to myself, honey child, I'm like, now this is a brilliant idea. And so, yeah, that came in after on my thing. I saw Sherry's.
Yeah,
comment.
there's several people that said dolls, but they're after Sherry Lee.
Yeah, then they came in with dolls. So it shows up in our list in a particular order, which should be the order that it's set in. So Sherry came in first from what I see. But listen now, this got me to thinking about it. And I said, you know what we need to do here in CMR on the Cold Hard Truth? We need to have a little bit of a competition. So this is the competition. I'm announcing it today. Send your most creative idea, Christmas tree decorating ideas to us. Send photos, send videos. Yeah. Of what your Christmas tree looks like. If you think you've got the most creative idea, send it through to us. And somebody's going to win a grand prize of some cold, hard dinero cash. Honey child. So get your thinking caps on in terms of what you want to do. Now, listen, some of y'all actually gave out some brilliant ideas in the show this morning. So you're one step ahead. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah. No, I think I like it. There's some pretty cool ideas in here. For sure. Especially the different going down family memory lane. Different things like that.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good stuff. So we'll do submissions, and maybe on Christmas Eve is when we will pick the winner. Most original Christmas tree decoration or idea. All right, folks. That's it, I think, for today. Kevin, we got some stuff going on in the world of news. So I'm going to grab your news clip here, and we can get that played. Anything else going on in your neck of the woods, Kev?
Nope, just regular old, same old, same old. Just the daily routine.
Nice. Very, very good. Are you going to take some holiday time off during the holidays? Or
I actually get time off. I get off when the students get off of USF. I actually get off the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do any traveling or anything like that. I'll just be right here and enjoy it right here. So one of the things I find about traveling during Christmas, a lot of times when I have traveled around that time, I don't feel like I get a break because it's just so much back to back, too busy, and it's like I didn't get a break at all. So I'm going to make sure I get a break this time.
Very, very true. All right. Unique or original, says Miss Brenda. Well, a little bit of both, maybe. So unique and original. I think when you see it, you go, wow. Just like this idea, everybody's kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the wow factor. That would be what it is. A Christmas tree that wows everyone.
And we'll let the people decide. Send in your photos or your videos, and then we'll have the people decide exactly what it's going to be. So tomorrow's Friday. We have a couple cases that we're on. People being taken advantage of. So we'll do some consumer cases tomorrow. We'll try and call some of these people, salty people who don't want people to provide their money. And we'll do Mailbag Friday. So we'll open up some of your correspondence and mail and comments and so on. The government continues to agitate against these marriages of convenience. So that continues to be a situation. Mark says, so Black Pearl Skate Park is closing. Yes, it's private property, folks. I don't know who told y'all that it wasn't, but it is private property. So you can't tell private landowners what to do with their property up to a certain point. And I want to let's talk about that tomorrow, Mark, because when I was actually in Fort Lauderdale, I saw something of interest that I took a picture of, and I said, "Oh, we got to talk about this on my show." And it's around this whole area of you own a house, and people trying to tell you what you can even do inside your house. Like sometimes people go a little bit too far with their rules and regulations. Okay, so here's the news brought to you by Kevin Watler every single day. Tune in at 9 p.m. Monday through Friday on our social media platforms. Kevin loads up the news. And what he's been doing.
And we've changed it up a little bit too. We've shortened it because sometimes we're watching the analytics and see that when it's a longer form, people aren't really paying attention all the way to the end. So we've shortened the stories just so we can kind of keep it flowing. And if you want more information on the story, then you head to either one of our social media channels or our website, which does have the full article.
No problem, my love. People have sent me just a picture now, a copy of somebody's marriage registry certificate, saying that here's another sham marriage for you. Wow. Y'all outing them left, right, and center. Now, here's what I'm going to do about these sham marriages. I'm not going to put them up publicly because, unfortunately, that doesn't, well, maybe. I'm going to think about this, but it probably doesn't further the case that much. I'm actually passing the information on to enforcement because maybe enforcement can actually do something about it. But yes, I reported one yesterday. So thank the viewer to the program who just sent this gentleman who they say is a marriage of convenience. I will forward it to the appropriate authorities so that they can carry out an investigation and hopefully, nab some of these marriages of convenience. Maybe we need to start shaming and naming them too, Kev. That's a little bit on the personal side because, the convenience they might be getting is something that we don't really want to go into that discussion about. But anyway, folks, don't do it. And what I'm finding is it's some Caymanians that are doing it, primarily Caymanians, but a lot of times it's the paper Caymanians too, who have had the privilege of becoming a Caymanian. And then, yes, child. I saw a guy in the bank yesterday. I must tell you, I had a salty moment in my head. Of course, I didn't say anything, but he was sitting down because he's elderly, can't stand up for too long. And he had a little young thing with him. And I was thinking to myself, is that his daughter or the wife or the girlfriend or what? And I actually think it's the girlfriend because I've seen him out before. He went got gray hair, but still dyed it black at the age of 75. At some point, you just got to accept that you're old and let the gray come in. But he's with this little young thing. And I'm thinking, you can't even stand up in line at the bank. I want to know about the other aspects of the performance. But I was sitting there looking at it and I'm like, keep your mouth shut. Just keep it to yourself.
You bad, Candy.
Listen, I think and will tell you all sometimes what I'm thinking because, I was telling you about that little baby in the airport who was having a fit in the TSA line. And poor thing, she is obese as a toddler. And she's sitting there. And I felt like she was hungry and that's why she was crying. I'm thinking, Sandy, why would you assume the child is hungry? And the mother was just ignoring her. She didn't say nothing to the child. She didn't pay her no mind. The child was having a fit. And I thought, that's really wrong, insulted me to be thinking just because the child is fat, because she was obese, that she's crying because she's hungry. Maybe it was something else why she's crying. But my mind automatically went there. I was like, try and feed that child. And of course, then that would probably not help the issue, right? So I thought, Lord Jesus, Sandy, mind your own business. Mark says, semen pension gone. Yes, sir. Thank you, Miss Brenda. Wishing all of you a super productive, beautiful day, Thursday. Get out there, do something wonderful with your life. Help other people, seek to do more good than harm for sure. And Caymanians, be the best that you can possibly be. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 7:30.
Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Here's a summary of some of Cayman's latest headlines. Minister of Education Juliana O'Connor-Conley was visibly upset on Wednesday after an unidentified photographer was seen in Parliament taking photos of members. The minister noted that it was against conventions for a camera to be arbitrarily taking photos of members. Minister of Tourism and Transport, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, was awarded the Caribbean Minister of the Year by the Caribbean Travel Awards 2023. Mr. Bryan was recognized for his role in the Cayman Islands' recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic on tourism. Miss Cayman Tiffany Conley took the witness stand and made outlandish claims during the continuation of her criminal case. She claimed that she was attacked for no good reason and denied all of the 6 allegations against her. Among other things, the court heard that she has a brain tumor and was upset that she was treated like an ordinary, regular citizen during her arrest. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:47, partly cloudy skies with gusty winds when the temperature is at 83 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity at 63% like the forecast calls for. It will feel like it's in the high 80s. Winds east-northeast at 20 to 30 miles per hour and the sun sets at 5:47. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the high 70s. Looking forward, similar weather conditions are expected. It does look like there is an increase in the chance of shower activity on Sunday. If you would like to know more on any of these stories, visit caymanmallroad.com or follow Cayman Mall Road on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.